briefly, but for a moment. But nevertheless, let me get up here and talk to y'all. Oh boy, Lil Rod, what's going on, Lil Rod? I never been around you. Based off of who you are, I never want to be around you ever. Oh man, this guy, Lil Rod, Lil Rod, Lil Rod. First of all, let me tell everybody before we even begin, happy Tuesday, midday here in New York City, Tri-State. Shout out to everybody. Hope you're having a good day. Hope everybody's in good spirits, all that stuff. I try to, be on a different note and try to, offer how can I say it, of enthusiasm to people. But let's go ahead and get into Lil Rod. Lil Rod, I just saw recently, he did a little piece out of two pieces he's done now. He did a piece for the Rolling Stone, and he continuously, or either it's being rebroadcasted on one of the two, he continuously deals with another female vlogger. I'm gonna put it that way. I have nothing against this female blogger. I don't like your type of delivery. I don't like the way you necessarily do your podcast, but nevertheless, you have the right to say what you want to say. The only problem that I do have is previously when you did your podcast, you always had a thing of like how can I say it? You always come in, you feel very certain of yourself, this particular vlogger. And she interviewed him this recently, and I'm able here to give my spot on opinion about it. See, Lil Rod, for many of y'all don't know, this is a question I always had to pick up, and I'll prove this to you guys in a minute. Lil Rod has a list of people he's done music with, right? List of people he's done music with, usually in an accompanying fashion, not in a producer sense, meaning he's lead over the project. They are very much mistaken about these things, but that's not the case. He has usually been in the accompaniment of arrangements, placements here and there when it was his projects. When in one particular project out of all, with one particular female artist that you worked with that a lot of people don't bring up. Thank you very much, brother. One particular artist that you don't bring up that you worked with, Lil Rod, is Sparkle on her third album. Didn't you there, buddy? And you worked with Sparkle not too long ago, back in 2021 during the pandemic when she released the third album and effort. This would include her efforts from 1998 and 2001 as well. Both previously produced by one and only who? R. Kelly. hold on. I'm going somewhere with this. Just give me a minute. But la gente latino, ya para el momento. So listen. So with that being said, right, there's something that's further going on to this. He worked with Sparkle in 2021. And many of y'all ask me, who is Sparkle? I don't know who's Sparkle. Who's Sparkle? Who's Sparkle, Dad? Who's Sparkle? Tell us. How does R. Kelly and Sparkle have a connection? Well, I'm going to tell you how. This third effort that Lil Rod worked on, and so you got to be in the music industry to understand stuff like this. I know what to look for. This third effort that you put out from Sparkle, shout out to Sparkle. Shout out to Chi-Town. Shout out to everything that happened with her niece. But if many of y'all don't know, what really sparked a lot of things that went on with R. Kelly a while ago was, and I remember those times because they were selling on a Canal Street, they were selling it on Delancey. I mean, people saw it. You know what I'm saying? It was online for a minute on World Star. I mean, people remember this video. So, and even if you watch it, you haven't watched it, you know about that R. Kelly video. But who was in that video? Well, ironically enough, it was R. Kelly's artist niece, who was Sparkle. In this video, I don't want to detail it too much, but this girl has had some sexual things happen to her. And what most people were reportedly saying, this girl was 14 at the time via R. Kelly, right? Well, this R. Kelly tape sparked his first set of legal. Now, I want to give you some context here so you guys understand. This switched into his first time and foray into the courtroom. Why this? Not his second time. This was his first time because of that tape with Sparkle. And he ended up getting sued, and I forgot what happened, how that played, but basically he got off. Then it was the second time he was brought to court. Then subsequently, you guys know the 30-year sentence he's got. This all stemmed originally from the same artist that Lil Rod worked with in 2021 named Sparkle. Now you're saying, David, where you going with this? Where you going with this? Well, he worked with Sparkle on her album in 2021. And you knew what the history was. Ain't no way you gonna say you didn't. You ain't know the history between Sparkle and R. Kelly and how that all synced. Cause see, back then, even in 2021, when you were working on the album, I would say that was in the highlight of the creme de la creme when R. Kelly was going through his trial right down there in Brooklyn, New York. See, if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't even have brought it up. But see, R. Kelly was going to court down in Brooklyn. Y'all didn't know that, did you? R. Kelly went to court in Brooklyn, New York. You know who else went to court in Brooklyn, New York? El Chapo. They went down to court down there in Brooklyn, New York. They were in a Brooklyn facility, all that. They were down there in Brooklyn. All right, that's the point. Same thing with Harvey Weinstein. Well, with that being said, you knew what the setback was, and I might be a year off. It might have been 2000, well, it wasn't 2020 because that was the height of the virus. So maybe 2019 is when it started. 2018 is when it heavily started with R. Kelly. Somebody come in, correct me if I'm wrong. But 2021, it was still fresh enough for you to remember what happened with R. Kelly and Sparkle because you were working with Sparkle. Now, he worked on Sparkle, Lil Rod, the whole project. And if you know the history with Sparkle and that being R. Kelly's former artist, and R. Kelly worked with her on the 98 album, and he worked with her on the 2001 album. I can't make this up. So how you gonna tell me, oh my God, I never knew I was in an environment like this? This is what he said on the Chick show, don't you know? Oh my God, I couldn't believe I was in an environment real moist. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Lil Rod, hey girl, little moist for me. Not taking shots at the LBGT community over there. I'm just saying, it's just real moist. You understand what I'm saying? Even in y'all premise, y'all say this nigga moist. You understand what I'm saying? Let me continue. You worked with Sparkle in 2021. Sparkle was the antithesis and the genesis of R. Kelly's downfall, as we know right now in history, as he has been set to 30 years to serve in prison. Am I lying or am I correct, audience? Okay, with that being said, how the fuck do you say to an audience, oh, I never knew what was going on in the music industry? It was all a surprise to me when I got around Diddy, if your story hold true, when you work with Sparkle and everybody and their mama know. There's somebody sitting right now in their living room in Wisconsin that know what happened with Sparkle. There's someone sitting right now, sitting in Miami, Florida, to know what happened to Sparkle's niece. That tape was everywhere. But you're trying to tell me you wasn't privy to what was going on in the music industry, Lil Rod? You just had to sit down with that poor girl and tell her all your woes and sorrows because, they're out to get me now. Oh, let me tell you about this guy. So then he follows up. Now he's scared. I told y'all. Now he's scared. He's talking about, I had things on my computer. This is what he said. I can't make this up, don't you know? So this is what he said. He said, I was scared. I put things on my computer. They're not there when I go back. And we've had to move to different locations because of our fears. And me and my family are not safe. And, I said, well, damn, Bubby, you didn't really exactly think this out out there, did you? You didn't exactly think this out there. If what you're saying is true, sir, you didn't exactly think this out too well. I mean, did you think about your family? Did you think about the days was dangerous, man, and these mafia ties? We're the mafia. This guy. Mafia. All right. There's no such thing as the mafia. These are lies. Anyway, long story short, this guy, all right, he sits around and he talks about all this different dangers he's coming into. Lil Rod here. This is the one suing Diddy, if you guys don't know. But subsequently, and oddly enough, this guy is left and right doing interviews. You see, this is where I tell you, I hope guys like Lil Rod continue to do what they do. No, I don't want you to stop. I want you to continue. I want you to get more interviews, in fact. Listen here. I want every T-blogger. I want every numbshell, dirty, despicable, nasty, or outrageous, obnoxious, belligerent freaking podcast out there. I want y'all to interview Lil Rod. He's open for interviews. He's doing interviews with Rolling Stone. He's doing interviews with this nice little young girl. I kind of want to hit it. You understand? But I'm talking about Shorty. It's like I don't like a style of reporting, but I'm like, damn, I kind of want to hit it. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Anyway, long story short, You know what I'm saying? And I thought I kind of want to hit it. Anyway, listen, right? My point is this. Lil Rod, you ain't think this thing through when you started the kid. You understand what I'm saying? And it ain't gonna work out too much for you. It don't look like. So this is what my suggestion is to Lil Rod. Okay, y'all ready? You listening? Make sure y'all share this and make sure Lil Rod gets this. You understand? Lil Rod, how you doing? I'm just a consigliere. That's all I am. I just give advice, and that's what I do. You know, that's all I do. I'm not here to deliver any messages to you. We want you to stay safe. We want your family to be safe, and of course, we want you to live a long and fruitful life. That is coming from everybody. If these allegations are true, we are rooting for you, and we want you to know that. Okay, all right. I want to get that out there. We don't want anything to happen to Lil Rod. That's not the point here. That's not the point. But oddly enough, in this interview he did with this girl, he screams out, he's running for his life. Running for your life. Sound like Public Enemy. Running for your life. I mean, it's just the acting for me. I think that's what it is for me. It's the acting that Lil Rod does. You know, he's gotten quite fat lately too. I noticed that. You know, water, maybe water. Nah. All right. Well, you know, he got kind of, you know, that's what I'm saying. You know, so. It's a gordito. Anyway, listen, right? I just said some slick shit in Spanish. Don't worry about it, y'all. If y'all speak Spanish. Anyway, gordito. I mean, Lil Rod. Paquito Doro. Flaco Doro here. He somehow or another, Flaco Doro, he decided that what he was going to do was he was going to start going to outlets and doing interviews. So Lil Rod has now done a full interview with Rolling Stone. He's done 2 interviews, or maybe possibly one that she just replayed it with this particular female vlogger. And the details just start adding in every time he does an interview. I notice that every time there's some more details. There's some more details. What you forget last time that you told that you ain't remember this time, Lil Rod? That's all I'm trying to figure out. I'm just asking questions. I'm a consigliere. I'm just asking questions. I have to get into the depths of this because, you know, there's 2 sides of this complaint. I'm no idiot. Don't get me wrong. You know what I'm saying? I mean, there's a quite possibility Puck could be guilty of all this stuff or whatever, and then my efforts are foiled. But, you know, that's not going to make a lot of people happy. So I'm thinking here, you know, and I'm a thinking man. I'm thinking here maybe we need to start questioning Lil Rod a little bit more. Because what I'm starting to see, Lil Rod, you got a lot of inconsistencies in your stories and a lot of add-ins. You know, I'm going to add this in this time. I'm going to add this in this time for salaciousness and keep the camera on you. But you don't want the wide spectrum camera on you. That's why you did publication with Rolling Stone. You didn't do an on-air interview. You did publication with them. Let me tell you guys about that. Give me a second, guys. The seasons are changing up here. So let me tell you about that. I'm going to tell you a secret that y'all don't know about the music industry. Artists have been doing this for a long, long time. So, and if you don't believe me, go ask whoever your favorite artist is, whoever you listen to. There's 2 types of interviews that artists do. Actually, like 3 or 4, but let's particularly stick on the first 2. The first 2 are usually radio, and now inclusive. That also includes simultaneously YouTube, Instagram, those and H's if you do interviews there. It's all inclusive now as far as like that approach. It's all, I would name it under video type of media. Then there's audio type of media, which also fits into that same foray that you can find. Like people will have like basically a stenographer and they will redo the audio, or you'll either have someone that will just be doing an on-air interview and there will not be any type of video whatsoever, but there will be audio. And they'll launch it as a piece. And you'll see that with a lot of NPRs and Associated Press does a lot of interviews like this, especially when they're dealing with dignitaries and you know, branches of governments, representatives such as congressmen and congresswomen. You understand what I'm saying here? So you'll have this audio only. Then you'll have the second type of publication, which is always interesting because there's always room for I edit. And this is why they choose this format. Usually, and remember when I told you this, whenever you see an artist and they only do a written, they mostly do just written, like they're asking Q&As, basically they're writing the interview that they actually did, and they answered like this. It's because they literally either have a video representation or they have an audio representation that's already previously been recorded, and they're taking out, the PowerPoints of that, of what they want to inclusive into a written form. And so that's all you get. You're getting the fullest edit you could possibly get. This is why a lot of people will go back and you'll hear them say in their interviews, oh, if you would have heard what I really said, you know what I'm saying, and things like that of that nature, or whatever. This is what this is from. So you'll have a lot of artists, movie stars, dignitaries, etc., that will prefer to do a written dissertation of what they said in the form of an interview stance. And usually it's because there's some things that are there that they need to heavily comb through and make sure they won't do any damage to that person. Setting forth in this particular situation, since this man has a prior litigation going on against Diddy, we're talking about Lil Rod, right? So with that being said, check this out. Lil Rod, and this is my opinion, based on all these interviews that he's doing, he's trying to convince the public of he's right and Puff's wrong. And I think a lot of people are piggybacking off of there, whatever. And I'm gonna get into granny panties in a minute because I heard what she said. You know what I'm saying? One thing I'll say about the other chick, you understand what I'm saying? Outside the point, I kind of want to hit it, but shout out to TT. I'm gonna say it like that. You know, I kind of want to hit it. I ain't even gonna hold you. You know what I'm saying? But the difference between her and granny panties is at least TT will have the actual person on there. So if they fumble the ball, they fumbled it on their own. You understand what I'm saying? That part I can respect because you're actually interviewing the person in question. You understand what I'm saying? Even though I don't like your delivery, even though I don't like the way you do it, I don't like the video style. I think it's very intrusive or whatever. But you have your right to do that. You understand what? Just like I have my right to counter what you're saying based on the fact that you're not inclusive with our background. You understand what I'm saying? So many of y'all don't know, my name is Davin Lewis. I worked with Bad Boy Entertainment for over 17 years. You understand what I'm saying? I know these people. I was around, and many of these times these people are mentioning these things or whatever. If you do a quick Google search of me, I will come up all inclusive within that. That's all I'm going to say. You understand what I'm saying? There's enough demonstrations and examples here on this page for you, let or enough that you don't even have to go that far. So I was around. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm not talking to somebody that's a novice. I'm not talking from somebody's perspective that wasn't around the music industry. If you understand what I'm saying, these are people that I know. I've been around. They're friends of mine within this dynamic that we call the music industry from multiple different labels, not just Bad Boy Entertainment. A lot of people get that confused. Like, I just know people that came through Bad Boy. No. I know people at Universal. I know people at Sony. I know people at Cash Money. I know people at Rick Ross. Shout out to me, Bad Music. I know a lot of people. I went around the country to the same locations year after year after year. Some of these guys that ended up becoming multi-millionaires. I watched them when they were out handing out freaking mixtape promos with 3 songs on them. I watched what happened for Trinidad James. Literally watched what happened for Trinidad James. One summer down there, he came down there from Atlanta, just like all the rest of them do down there for Memorial Day weekend. I watched that with my own 2 eyes, and a year and a half later, that kid had one of the biggest singles in the country. I watched that. I watched what happened with Iggy Azalea. You understand what I'm saying? So like, don't try to, when you hear these people and they try to deduce you, whatever, you say to them this. Well, what have you done in comparison? And real quickly, you'll understand and watch the hype and the peak of the conversation go from here to here when asked that question. See, my shit can be pulled up. Now, I appreciate that factor of TT. I'm just gonna say it like that because she'll actually go get the person in question. That's the type of shit I do. So I respect that. But with the other one, granny panties, which I'm gonna get to granny panties in a minute. I know a couple of y'all here, granny panties, you might even be here yourself. What's going on, sweetheart? Nah. You fucking rotten fuck. Anyway, listen, right? This is my point here. TT actually went and got Lil Rod, so I can live with that. You understand what I'm saying? The problem I can't live with is don't be fooled and fueled by these suckers. This guy's a sucker. See, what you don't understand is I want him to keep doing interviews. He doesn't understand that, but I want him to keep talking. Hell, what you've done so far has been miraculous. So keep talking, Lil Rod. I want you to keep talking. You understand? I want you to pave the pavement. And anybody that'll talk to you, talk to you. What I really want is I really want some of the alpha males to sit this guy down. You know, the people that play the part of neutrality, you understand, like myself, I want you to go sit him down and talk to him because so far you only hit soft targets that you want to talk to. You want to talk to Rolling Stone, well, they fall the part of neutrality. Well, you want to talk to TT. You want to keep running back over there versus all other vloggers. Well, because she fits your narrative. I want you to talk, Lil Rod, to somebody or a media outlet that doesn't fit your narrative and see how you pair against hard questioning. Because I think that's the problem. See, nobody's that set these motherfuckers down and ask them some real powerful questions, you know. Like, oh, well, just like I pointed out to you, Lil Rod worked with Sparkle back in 2021, helped her complete a new project that had multiple songs on it. Sparkle, if many of y'all are not privy to who Sparkle is, she is the former artist of R. Kelly. You understand what I'm saying? R. Kelly is on her music credit. You can go look this up, all right? And R. Kelly and her have a different symbionts, which is this right here. R. Kelly's reportedly sexually assaulted her niece at the time, who was 14 years old. We're talking about this one artist, Sparkle, who Lil Rod worked with in 2021 when R. Kelly wasn't convicted to 2001, 2022 for these 30 years. So that means the time that you were working on the project with her, she was probably trying to launch that project based on the fact that R. Kelly was in the headlines again. Just like his previous ex-wife that's always popping up somewhere, and for some reason or a freaking another won't lose the last name Kelly. Andrea, when you gonna lose that name? You in a whole nother situationship, and you still ain't lost the name yet. But we'll talk about you later, Auntie. We'll talk about you later. You understand? Because you remind me of Rick Ross' baby mother. Two trifling ass motherfuckers. Anyway, listen. Point I'm getting at is, yeah. Because some of them, when they get that age, they start getting like that. You know what I mean? They start trying to mimic the women that they grew up around. You understand what I'm saying? That's what I see out of the Andrea Kelly, and that's what I see out of Rick Ross's baby mom, the one that walks around and acts all crazy or whatever. I'm not saying she's a horrible person, either one of them, because I don't know them personally. I'm just saying the type of delivery they do on social media is very embarrassing, especially to the kids in question that were made and produced by these men previously. Understand, ladies, it's still their daddy. You understand what I mean here? They're still their daddy. Say what you want to about Rick Ross. That's still their daddy. And that's still a representation of half of your kids' DNA and chromosomes. So when you get up here and you embarrass your baby daddy and your baby choices, you understand what I'm saying? To make and procreate with this man, what does it say for you? Now, them girls over there that cheer with you, nay, hate men, baby, they're going to agree with that naturally because all of them are sitting at home with a couple of cats and some cat food and probably cat poop all over their house, sitting back talking about, I can't find a man. I'm single because I want to be. Yeah, you single because the cobweb said it's time to shut up shop. The fuck? Now, this ill-gotten fallopian experience. Ill-gotten fallopian experience. That's hilarious. And this ill-gotten fallopian experience that many of you ladies are going through, you're missing one thing here. Get out of your feelings how you feel about men you previously dealt with. All men ain't like that. Also come to the realization that a lot of these women out here, I won't necessarily say they're lying, but by Mr. Bugsby, you know, who's my, oh, humble beginnings, that guy comes. Hey, do you know where this guy comes from? I think his dad was a butcher and his mother was a seamstress or something like that or whatever. Very poor people in this little small town. Let's call it Beloved, Texas or something like that. This is Tony Bugsby. This is the lawyer that y'all put. You go, Tony Bugsby. Tony Bugsby's got 3,000 people that contacted him, and he's only taking 120 cases. You slow mother. You slow motherfucker. He got 3,000, excuse me, 3.2K calls And he had to weave out and say, well, these are the possibles. What you working on, an album? These are the possible. We got, it's like an artist. We got 3.4K songs. We, we only deduced it down to 120. I want y'all all to keep talking. You understand what I'm saying? At this rate, Puff's gonna walk out the courthouse like George Jefferson, like Tupac. Y'all keep talking. I want y'all to keep talking. Listen, anybody, Bad Boy family, if y'all here with me, you know what I'm talking about. Don't say nothing in the chat room. But listen, honestly and truthfully, I want y'all to keep talking. Lil Rod, you doing us a service, my boy. Keep talking. I want you to keep talking to Rolling Stone. Hell, take it to USA Today. Go to ABC. Talk to all these motherfuckers. Tell them your story, Lil Rod. Tell them your story. But make sure you stay consistent, boy. See, if someone is telling the truth, there's never inconsistency. There'll be subtle inconsistencies, small ones, very, very small ones. But if there's drastic inconsistency, extremities in their inconsistencies, oh, those are all the traits of a liar. Oh, yeah. Yeah. See, a liar, they got to keep up with the lie. The liar can't sit back and say, oh, well, on Tuesday I told this vlogger this, and then on Wednesday I told him the same story, but I added this, little salt, little vinegar. You know what I mean? Like, no. That's not the way the world works. See, the way the real world works and the way the court system works is everything that you say is basically a dissertation. You know, it's a stenographer without having a stenographer, especially if it's in video form. Lil Rod. So as you're around and you're telling your stories here, and they're beautiful stories. They're beautiful. They're beautiful. Like the one that sticks out the most to me. You worked with Sparkle in 2021. Do y'all even realize how long it takes to create a project? Do y'all? Even let me give you an example of myself. And I've worked with the best of them. I've worked with people that have worked with Shakira, Busta Rhymes, French Montana, Justin Bieber, and all that. And I'll put it back up again. It's all I've already done that one time where the producer himself will list off everybody that he's worked with. Wyclef John. That's the people that have recorded me. You understand what I'm saying? That's the elk people I've dealt with. You understand what I'm saying? That make hits. They don't sit around and just, you know what I mean? Like, you feel me? Like, I've worked with people that made hits. That's for real. Hold on one second. I'm just fixing something on this camera. All right, because it was looking kind of, yeah, there we go. Sorry about that, y'all. I ain't even noticed that. My fault. All right. So I ain't worked with no little people. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm not being cocky or whatever. That's why I be funny when I hear people talk. I've been in situations you would pray for. Like, you understand what I'm saying? I know people that you will never know. A lot of people, y'all don't even realize this. A lot of you vloggers don't even realize you're more known before you even walk into a situation now. So now, and I'm gonna be honest with you, some of it had to do with me, man. What are you gonna do? Some of it had to do with me. I had to compile a little list of some of the more debaucherous individuals that were on here. And a lot of it was a servitude of just seeing something that had happened similar. Sometimes something got to happen with you for you to understand how somebody else felt in the moment. You understand what I'm saying? And that's where I always give the Jaguar right over there. What's up, Huggy Pampers? Huh? Oh, Philly Jersey ass, bro. I ain't got too much on you because the pure simple fact, I say it like I said it before. It's all about consistency. Lil Rod ain't got no consistency. He always adding something to the game. Back to what I was saying, dogs. On your discography, it says you back in 2021, you worked with Sparkle on her new EP. If you worked with Sparkle on her new EP, then you know the history behind Sparkle, don't you? And you know that Sparkle's niece reportedly took R. Kelly to court. They sued. Sparkle was in attendance. You understand what I'm saying? In the whole thing. You understand? So I'm trying to understand here is why is it that nobody's pointing out the pure simple fact of this? If you worked with Sparkle in 2021, that story goes back with the VHS tapes being on the street on Canal Street all through New York, this, that, and the third. That story goes all the way back to at least, I'm gonna say at the very least 2009, 10, y'all, something like that. If we know that, right? And we see that with our own two eyes, and we all witness that, and we all remember that. You trying to tell me Lil Rod don't remember that? What are you, 14? Huh? You remember that too. You were old enough. Because some of your credits go back to earliest is what, 2016, 2017? Homie, you was aware of what was going on. Let me tell you something else. Not only did he work with Sparkle, who her niece was implicated in the first set of R. Kelly trials and tribulations, if you want to say, huh? I think that's something me and Jaguar, right, will both agree with. You understand what I'm saying? Pay attention here. There's some people that got legitimate things to say, and there's some people that just add sauce because shit this went awry and went wrong. I didn't reach the epiphany of where I'm going yet. Luckily enough, there's still time for me. And I've still put in the effort. I go to the studio and I record new music. There's still room for me. You understand what I'm saying? Not via Bad Boy Entertainment necessarily either. So don't think that's why I have my efforts. Now I'm just a loyal nigga. Excuse my French. I don't sit back and watch my friends freaking fold or my friends. You think it's the first time with the court with them? I was going with court to court with niggas before I even got with Bad Boy. What the fuck is you talking about? And as far as Puff is concerned, this is the second time we didn't follow them to court. We were down there at the Jacob Javits Center, don't you know, when he was going through the whole thing with Shine. The fuck are these people talking about? And back then we had the same position. And see what happened. The nigga's guilty and they saying what he was saying. It was the same thing against him. Nas wrote a whole song about it. He's my favorite rapper. Nas wrote a whole song. I don't like how P. Diddy did Chime with different lawyers. Purple. Huh? Go check out that song by Nas, Purple. First lyrics he says, I don't like how P. Diddy did Nas with different lawyers. First set of lyrics, Factory. I'm going to say it one more time. I don't like how P. Diddy did Nas with different lawyers. Purple by Nas. Go listen to that song. Dum, 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 dum. You told me somebody actually went out there and went to Queensbridge and visited where Nas is from. Put the mural on there and all that this past summer. Go look it up. Just put in my name, put Nas behind it. You tell no lies here. I don't get off on telling lies. I get off keeping it a buck like I've always been. Bang, bang, chitty. You know? So, this is my thing. We got Lil Rod out here. Hey, Lil Rod, if you're tuning in. We got Lil Rod out here, whatever the case may be. And Lil Rod is sitting around. And my problem with Lil Rod is this. Lil Rod, you worked with Sparkle in 2021. R. Kelly was in court around about that time prior to him getting sentenced to about 30 years in jail. You also saw Harvey Weinstein, who was responsible for all of Quentin Tarantino's movies making it to the stage, responsible for some of and Dame don't tell the story more than enough than he need to. Dame, this is a perfect time to tell that story right now about how you punched Harvey Weinstein in his shit. Huh? Why did you do that? Tell the people, yo, go ask Dame Dash why he punched Harvey Weinstein. I don't say no more. I ain't gonna say no more. Ask Dame Dash why he punched Harvey Weinstein. Y'all ain't having bigger conversations. Y'all trying to point at Puff. This shit bigger than Puff. How y'all know Puff ain't sitting in jail right now because he wants to be? I never looked at it from this perspective. We got Tony Busby running around now. There's people that want to settle right now. Some people will point to Lil Rod. Lil Rod set this whole thing in motion. Then some people point at Cassie. Take your pick. I don't give a shit. Point remains is this, man. Whether it was Lil Rod or Cassie. Listen, kids. Listen. Whether it was Lil Rod or Cassie. The point is you got to prove what you're saying. And versus you and versus Cassie had that NDA, and I hate when people sit around and talk. Yeah, the NDA specifically. That's chick. You ain't even know what an NDA was 3 years prior to this. We've been talking about NDAs for the past 15, 20 years. I was around that industry heavy. My point is, you ain't heard Cassie violate that order yet. But Lil Rod, on the other hand, Rolling Stone, You're over there talking to TT. I want you to keep taking more interviews, Lil Rod. Do us a service, brother. You got to do it. In fact, at this point, I think you're doing it on purpose, aren't you? Ooh, that's a Lord talking. I think you're doing it on purpose at this point, aren't you, Lil Rod? Huh? Are you doing it on purpose now? Are you at the point now where you just said to yourself, you know what? I'm just going to start doing interviews to be doing them. And as I do these interviews, I'm going to add more and more to the story. This is the 4th time I done caught you, boy, adding something to the story, adding some sauce or something like that. So I got to ask you, what's up? Why you keep adding to the story, my boy? Is that a fair question to ask? Why you keep adding to the story, Lil Rod? Because every time I see Lil Rod somewhere, and why you doing interviews if you got a lawsuit? Now, it's not illegal for you to do interviews, mind you, depending on who your counsel is, depending on who your representation is. It's not irregular for you to do interviews. Well, it's irregular, but it's not illawful for you to do interviews, if that makes sense. It's not going to go against his case and what he's presenting. So Lil Rod could do interviews, but I want you to do more interviews. I want you to do at least, I need 5 more from you within the next 2 weeks, to be honest with you. Can you do that for me? I need you to go back over there to TT, talk to TT one more time. And I need you to do about 6 to 7 more interviews. Can you do that for me, bud? Just do that for me. That's it. Because you know the vibes, boy. So keep on doing the interviews, all right? Do what you're told. Like you've been doing. Do what you're told like you've been doing. Get me and mix down that song. You know, another thing that bothers me about Lil Rod, how many bad boy artists you've actually worked with. Your hugest body of working with a bad boy project is the Love album. That's why you keep mentioning it. Why don't you mention the shit you worked with for Faith? I was over there in the studio. I was one of the last times I was ever around Black Rod was at Daddy's House studio shortly before they closed it down. Rod, he got to know Flow. He got to know Steve. He got to know Shaquan. These are all the people I worked with over at Daddy's House. You understand what I'm saying? He wasn't a resident in Daddy's house. You understand what I'm saying? He wasn't a resident in Daddy's house. Y'all don't understand how deep it go. He wasn't a resident in Daddy's house. I'm gonna say that for you one more time. It was in-house producers at Daddy's house. You understand what I'm saying? Shout out to Tony, who ran the whole show. Salute. You know what I'm saying? Shout out Jersey. Shout out to Shaquan. Shout out to Far Flow. Shout out to Steve. Shout out, who else? Brian. How am I forget Brian? Brian worked on 24 Hours to Live with me, the remix. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? And that's available right here on the channel right now. Just put in my name, put in 24 Hours to Live remix, it'll come up. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. And there's also behind the scenes of it with me in the studio, available on here, whatever. This was 10 years ago, almost. You understand what I'm saying? So, like, for me, it's funny when I hear Lil Rod talk about his placement in Bad Boy, when I be like, but dog, I was recording at Daddy's House recording studio for at least, 3-4 years. I ain't never see you around there. The people that were around there, and anybody want to argue with, just point them in one direction. Argue with Tony then. Only person you got to ask is Tony. That's it. I ain't going to say no more than that because I don't want to put Tony out there. But only person you got to ask is Tony. He going to tell you that. The only niggas that was in there that had residency was Brian, Far Flow, Harv when he came through. That's who I was in there with. I was with Harv Pierre, Black Rob, and Far Flow. The last time I ever saw Black Rob was in Daddy's House recording. So that's the last time. And at that time we were talking about it. It was funny. It was ironic because the last time I had seen him before then was actually in Hartford, Connecticut. And who was lining in? Who was the headline that night? Chinks Drugs. How crazy is that? It's a fact. I still got video, pictures, all that on one of my other pages. I'll post that up over here. That shit was crazy. And then later on, BR died. You know what I'm saying? RP to BR. But I ain't even gonna hold you. When you get somebody like Lil Rod, he's sitting around and talking all these publications and talking to all these people, whatever. Son, you wasn't an in-house producer, my nigga. You wasn't there every day. You damn sure wasn't in daddy's house. You got called in for projects. And what's more fluent is just like it was priorly mentioned, you was in there to mix down drums and cymbals and shit. Like my dog, you wasn't a real like yeah, the credits is there, but a lot of y'all get credits confused. Like, okay, his credits is there, but what is the metricity? Like, what is the totality of his credits? Well, your credits, my boy, is mixing shit down. You wasn't Steve, you wasn't Shaquan. Let me give you an example. For our flow, y'all remember the first video, the first mixtape y'all seen with Cardi B, and she got her legs spread wide open, just like in the vajay, with like Lil Kim did previously. My man's that recorded me, that recorded my single, that still jingle to this day. I play that song to this day, and people just like, yo, you just recorded this? I'm like, nah, son, I did that like 8 years ago. You understand what I'm saying? Same thing with DMX. DMX, and look, at everybody always say I look like Sean. DMX, when DMX dropped Where My Dog's At or whatever, that song had been recorded like 5 years prior. Y'all don't even know that. That song, When My Dog's At, that song had been recorded 5 years prior. A lot of these songs that y'all get and hit y'all in the head at a certain time and hit y'all in the head, these songs been recorded and been sitting sometimes for 3, 4, 5 years and just waiting for that moment. All right, the vibe is here. Let's launch this. You know what I'm saying? If the stars align right, this shit hit. So the last time, like I said, once again, the last time, and you can ask Hall Pierre this, you can ask Paul Flo this, you know what I'm saying? They're gonna say shit, you can even ask man half of this. You understand what I'm saying? Like I know real niggas, bro. Like all that, this, that, and other third, and all these bloggers talking like they was around us. You wasn't around us, son. Only thing you doing is Googling and guessing. GG. Googling and guessing. I might even make a page out of that, the Googling and guessing channel. Because there's a lot of Googling and guessing. You wasn't there with us. We was there. We was in the trenches, was moving around. Why you think they call us street team? Ask Gene Deal why they call us street team. Why you ain't never think about that? Ask Gene Deal that. Gene Deal was there at the antithesis when our program was created. Tell him why we... No, matter of fact, Gene, don't say nothing. Shout out to Capo G. I appreciate that the other day. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gotta explain saying gang, get hurt. Fuck them niggas, bro. Niggas, this, they ain't for them to know. You understand what I'm saying? They don't even have that privilege or shouldn't be known. Stream individuals that were involved in that. Shout out to ASAP Ferg. That's why I spoke about ASAP Ferg when I went to the African American Day Parade this past, what was that, 2-3 weeks ago? Y'all saw stream going here. ASAP Ferg father actually made the bad boy symbol. You understand what I'm saying? With the baby and all that or whatever, with the back power fist or whatever. So if you want to talk about, because I heard a couple of y'all talking like that. That was ASAP Ferg from ASAP Mafia, ASAP, you know, you already know what I'm talking about. Eastside, what's happening? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's town business. So I don't like when people be talking about that or whatever. What up, homie? Kansas City, Missouri, tapping in. What's going on? Zero recruits. I like real G's in here. Man, make no mistake about it. You get twisted out of Missouri. You understand what I'm saying? We knew somebody, and we grew up with somebody from Missouri. Her name was Lori. She was a white woman, and she had 3 biracial children. You understand what I'm saying? The 3 biracial children is my cousins, Indra, Karma, Carmen, and Solana. And I love them to death. You understand what I'm saying? But they from Missouri. That's crazy right there. That's crazy. Shout out to Missouri. Yeah, if y'all don't know, Missouri, Indianapolis, you go out there and get twitted. For real, you better know somebody out there. Chi-Town too, you better know somebody out there. Don't come out here popping off talking about all that extra. You know what I mean? You heard? For real. Like, for real. They drop you out there. You understand what I'm saying? Like, if you go out in the Midwest in them sections, Indianapolis, Chicago, Missouri, the other one's Kentucky, believe it or not. You go on them areas right there, you better know somebody out there. You understand what I'm saying? Or immediately when you get there, you better link with all the you know what I mean, the talkers, the movers. You understand what I'm saying? Versus the talkers out in that city. Or you gonna get, I'm trying to tell you. I'm trying to tell you. I've been all around the country. I'm trying to tell you. like the West Coast and the Midwest, depending on where you at, those are the places you got to do that. We still do it to a certain extent, and then why you can't walk around and why do whatever the fuck you want to do, niggas get you out of here. But like that's a fact, you know what I'm saying? But like at the same time, I applaud the symmetry these guys have kept it towards tradition and those parts of the country or whatever. I even give Detroit that, even though Trick from like fucking Mississippi or something like that. Shout out to Trick. You know what I mean? But shout out to D-Town too. Detroit, they kept that tradition too. Go out to Detroit if you want to get it fucked up. You know what I'm saying? You'll have some problems out there. You understand what I'm saying? I'm trying to tell you, don't know nobody out in D-Town, you have some problem. My little homie, Rolling, you know what I'm saying? Even though we had some discretions, that's still my little nigga. Yeah, we had a moment, you know what I'm saying? That was my homie. You know, sometimes you get, you know what I'm saying, shit get fucked up with your homie, but we ain't fucked up to the point, in my personal opinion, where I can never walk back with the nigga. That's my homie right there. You know what I'm saying? I got genuine love for the little nigga. But my little homie, he was from out there. His family's from out there and all that. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Roland. You know what I'm saying? Motherfucking Nemo. What up, Nemo? Hartford ass nigga. I tell you, man, that's all type of dudes I came up around. I came up around a lot of guys that were, for the better sense of the word, fucking nuts. Inspired me. You know? So yeah, I don't fuck around with no soft people. I never have. You soft, I don't hang with you. I don't hang with you. Like, it's a mistake. I'm trying to tell you, because if you really get into something, and I'm not even trying to say like, ain't about, like, I'm the type of nigga like this. Even if I ain't got the jump off for me, I just want to say this real quick. Even if I ain't got the jump off for me, New York, know what I'm talking about. Even if I ain't got the jump off for me, I'll be that nigga that'll get knocked out with you. So I'm saying, like, I've always been like that. I'll be that nigga, like, I can prove that shit. But I'll be the nigga getting knocked out with you. So at the end of the day, you can't say, yo, son ran, he bitched out, whatever. No, we got fucked up together, nigga. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying, nigga? You heal up, you be all right. Know what I'm saying? And keep it moving and keep it with the friendship, because that friendship worth more than that 5 minutes. That 5 minutes you getting your ass whooped should show as testimony of how you are with your people, in my personal opinion. And even though I'm getting a little bit off the subject, the reason I say shit like that is because not on some gangster shit, but just on some loyalty shit. You know, I don't come from no sucker ass dudes. I don't. The guys I come with, you know, many of y'all know I done made the papers and everything else prior to being with Bad Boy. And I was actually a bad boy. You know what I'm saying? On the real way. You know what I mean? We were doing major shit. I don't make nothing up. We was making hundreds of thousands of dollars. Everybody know this, and that's just what it was. I wasn't involved with any small guys. I was involved in the organization. You understand what I'm saying? Which they aptly hit us with. And just luckily enough, I was locked up at the time when all this shit was going down. That's the same thing I'm saying about Puff. Sometimes God puts you in placement for certain reasons. Right now, Puff is going, and he's locked up right now with no bail, because maybe the courts know, yo, there's bigger people in this, and we ain't specifically after you for nothing. You understand what I'm saying? Maybe we just have to, these individuals that Tony Busby claims are contacting him by the tens of thousands. Oh, hold on, let me do it. They contacted me by the tens of thousands. They want justice for Puff Duff Daddy, and we have over 3.2K different people. We routed it down to about 120. We're gonna bring these 120 within the next 2 weeks. What we're gonna do, myself, Tony Bugsby, and the Tony Bugsby lawyer firm. What we're gonna do is we're gonna bring all these people to justice. I swear on the good state of Texas. Hold on 1 second. And after we get that nigger, after we get Diddy, after we get that nigger, after we get Diddy, we're going after the rest of you nigger, the rest of you entertainment stars, and we're gonna do what we're gonna do best. That's what the Tony Bugsby Texas law firm does. Oh, yeah, that fucking fuck. Anyway, I'm sorry. That's the funniest guy I've ever seen in my life. You're from Texas. Half of the crimes happen in New York, that reportedly. Half of the crimes happen in New York and California. You're from Texas. So all the people that have been affected in New York, California, Miami, they decide to reach out to a Texas attorney instead of reaching out to a New York, Miami, or Los Angeles attorney, because you're just so thorough in your shit. Right there, Tony. I got you, buddy. I got you. Hell of a PR campaign. Let me tell you something here. Shout out to Mediocre Tutorials and Review. I love that guy right there, New Yorker, just like we are here, Townie. That light-skinned nigga had something. I'm telling you, he had something on his show the other night that blew my mind. So Tony Bugsby, when he did his little, let's sit in on Tony here. Tony, the opportunist. Tony Bugsby. Getting your promo, ain't I, you cocksucker? Tony Bugsby here. Hey, you're a real low life fucker. I see right through you. Yeah, you're a small town boy trying to have big ambitions. Yeah. How'd that run for mayor go for you? 85 cases dismissed by a superior judge on your behalf. I'm not corrupt. Yeah, right. Videos down below in my short section. Go check that out. You understand exactly what I'm talking about. He tried to play it all so well. Well, he wants to talk about me when I was a junior lawyer. I knew nothing. You knew, you fucking fuck. Anyway, long story short, this cocksucker. I don't like him. He has a 1-800 number that's printed on top of him. He's got one girl that looks like freaking Seeley from The Color Purple standing next to him, and some other I don't know who this woman was. She looked Latina to me. She looked like she was half white, half Latina. And so Latina, tú sabes, las personas, pero la gente, pero diferente, pero los negros, los blancos, tú sabes, eran todas la gente latino, tú sabes, aquí, tú sabes, no diferente, tú eres no americana, entonces sabes, eran las mujeres, pero la barrio, la jíbara. Las mujeres son jíbara, pero la campo. So anyway, listen, right? These two chicks they had beside them actually worked for the law firm. Y'all do understand that, right? So when they had them promoting during that little press conference or whatever, and the girl was like, I'm an advocate. She's not an advocate for the state. She's an advocate for this freaking law firm, which they invented the position to put her in the position wherever she gets in front of a camera, she can act like an advocate. That chick that was smoking, it looked like she was half white, half Latina. That chick is not an advocate. She's an advocate for his law firm. Second of all, the black chick that came up there and gave her testimony or whatever, listen, do you like your tap dance shoes with or without shoe shine? That's all I'm asking. You understand what I'm saying? Because you wear everything 4 shorts of a Klan mask. That's all I'm saying, sister. One of the Queens with a K. KKK. Queens. KKKEENS. Queens. That's a new shit for me. Because there's a lot of queens out here, and then there's some queens. You understand what I'm saying? I know how to recognize the queens. I done fell in love with queens. You understand? I had an Ethiopian queen. I had a Haitian queen. I had a Black American queen before. You understand what I'm saying? I know the difference between queens and KKK wings. There's a lot of KKK queens out here nowadays that do the bidding and do the promotion of these law firms that are incapacitated in the position to make hundreds of thousands of dollars based on you girls' advocacies of not the facts, but the advocacies of whatever is being presented. Y'all, let me give you girls a hand. For all you KKK queens out there that are helping out the federal government, helping out these lawyers make hundreds of thousands of dollars. You ain't never even think of that, did you? You helping every last one of these fucking lawyers, these fraud ass fucking lawyers, allegedly make millions and millions of dollars at the end of this. You're like, oh, this is all for Cassie. Cassie got $15 to $17 million before taxes. That bitch living in California right now. She ain't even back in town. I live in Connecticut. I used to live, if you guys don't know, I used to actually live out in the section that Cassie's from, which is New London. You understand what I'm saying? That's where she's from. Her and her brother Roderick, which nobody ever brings him. You understand what I'm saying? Or cousin David. Nobody ever brings up them. We know these people. So my point is, because I'm still here in Connecticut. I live in a different part of Connecticut, but I'm still here in Connecticut. And people out there in that town, they know me and they'll vouch for everything that I'm saying. Everything that I'm saying. Because I'm telling the truth. I'm different than these other vloggers. They living off of not having experience. They ain't blocks. I'm living off experience. It's a difference. So my point is here, and to prove even part to you, what's my wallet? You think I'm lying? Hold on 1 second. Now y'all heard what I just said to you, right? You heard what I just said to you. Here's my ID. This is my state ID. Make sure I cover this. You gotta cover certain shit because niggas be wilding. Make sure I cover that right. Y'all see that, right? What does that say? What does that say? What does that say right there at the bottom? Huh? Now go look up where she from right now. Go look up what Cassie from right now. And I'm talking about in her timeline, nigga. We done walked around the town with her. Last time I was around with Cassie was in Miami before they closed King of Diamonds down there in Miami. Man, I think it's closed now down there. You know what I'm talking about, under the bridge on the Apalaka right there for people that live in Miami. And it was what's this boy's name? T.I. He was his welcome home party for coming home from prison. T.I. done some time and stuff. They had one for him there, and then we followed it up the next week because we ended up coming back to New York, and then we had to shoot right back out to Atlanta, and we went to Compound. And ironically enough, Compound, Alex and I forgot what his brother's name is. They from the Bronx. They Ethiopian too. You understand what I'm saying? They own all them SO. One of the brothers just got killed not too long ago down in Atlanta too, doing a fight at one of their newer establishments they had open. But people that know the tri-state, y'all know Alex and his brother, they Ethiopian brothers from the Bronx. You know what I mean? Shout out to them. Shout out to all my Humanis. We different up here. We got different people up here. Chicago and Detroit and New York be having different populations of Arab people and people that are African. I can literally say that because I didn't witness it with my own two eyes. Like out in Detroit, they have a lot of Yemeni or people from Yemen. If you don't know what that is, that's the same place that French Montana is from. A lot of people think French Montana is Latino. French Montana is from North Africa. All right. They have the Cardanians. What do you call them people? The Cardanians, or something like that, out of Detroit. And they're totally different people. They're like somewhere from over there by what Turkey is. And then Caldonians, I think that's what you call them out there in Detroit. You might call them or something like that. It's always, I forgot what you call them, but they're an Arab population. They're real racist too. That much I do know. Then you got Pakistanis, people from Bangladesh. I find the Bangladeshis are very racist people too. I don't think a lot of Bangladeshi people like the way they look. A lot of them are very, very, very dark skinned, and they try to play off the fact that they have straight hair to somehow and talk like and try to expat themselves or express themselves like Englishmen. And they do this, in my personal opinion, they do this to kind of like try to fit in, if that makes sense to you. And it's kind of odd to me. It's really, really odd to me. But we have a lot of Bengali people around here, and they trust me when I tell you, even though they live in a province that is considered Asia Minor, they do not consider themselves one with you. I'm trying to tell you that. I know some Black Latinos, I'll be honest with you, based on the fact of things that they heard, they don't seem one with you either. They like, yeah, because I have this happen to me all the time, especially my Honduran friends. They'll ask me certain questions. They'll be like, yo, so how Black Americans feel about Hondurans? I get that question a lot of times. And I'll be like, I ain't never heard no niggas bring up nothing about Hondurans. I never have. I never heard niggas bring up nothing about Dominicans, Panamanians, any of that. Well, the real issue I have with people bring up about Dominicans is a lot of Dominicans be like, no, yo soy un negro. Tú eres un negro, tú eres un Haiti, and un 12, and un Haiti and un Dominicano, and un República Dominicano, so tú eres un 12, pero la cotora, pero un poquito indio, meaning like you got both in you. Like a lot of people that are born in Haiti, that actually can be Dominican. And a lot of people that are born in the Dominican Republic can actually be Haitian, and they just happen to speak Spanish and French, both. You understand what I'm saying? Já passé ma goussante on Big Face Gary, quando plus. Ah, ça passait à ma goussante. Hein? Ça va, oui? On compris, oui? Sans donder. Sans non, oui. Sans non, oui. Sans non, oui. So, fala avec moi. Fala avec moi, on compris. So, you get a lot of Dominicans, you get a lot of Haitians, they speak both languages. They speak French or, as you know, Creole, but some Haitians actually speak French too. You know what I mean? The difference between French and Creole. What I was just speaking, I was speaking like a mixture of like French and Creole together. I was with a Haitian woman for years. Like, knew my mama, knew my father, you know, like I was with a Haitian woman for a minute. I had a baby by her, you know. Dark skinned, beautiful, black porcelain little doll. Her name was Amani. Amani Mokatia. Amani Katia. That was my daughter. My daughter passed away, unfortunately. Never got over it. You know, and maybe more cold blooded motherfucker, if anything. You know. But yeah. RP to her, huh? Salud a la mujer, a la bebé. So moving on, my point is, I have people ask me these questions all the time or whatever. And I say about Dominicans, a lot of Dominicans that play that because of pure simple fact that the country makes them feel that way. You had a guy over in Haiti. I know this is a little off subject, but I gotta explain this to you. You had a guy over in Haiti. What was his name? Jesus. I mean, not in Haiti, in Dominican Republic. What was his name? Jesus Christ. I can't think of his name right now, but shortly after Hitler had been overthrown, there was a president that was put in place of the Dominican Republic. And many Dominicans, they're going to know exactly what I'm talking about when I say this. I want to say Trevejo. It might be Trevejo. But he basically tried to do the same thing that Hitler did. And what he did was, anybody that looked like me and they were Latino, he would try to kill them. And it was a genocide. It really was. He killed almost close to 1 million that looked like you and I, you know. And that's what he did. He tried, and he would eventually extend it into Haiti. And the reason he would have did this, he would have did this on the behalf of the French. A lot of people don't know Haiti is actually poor because of the French. The French called in a debt on Haiti, and it was over almost $1 billion to a poor country that already subsided. That's why you see a lot of the gang stuff that's going on in Haiti, and everything else. It's a very sad shame what's going on in Haiti. Huh? Ça passe, mon frère, on pour Haiti. Huh? Et qui dit. So, you know, we understand, but when I have these conversations, I say, I don't never hear nobody say nothing about Hondurans. I don't never hear nobody say nothing about Black Colombians. I don't ever hear nobody say nothing about none of them people. And so I don't think that is true. When it comes to Africans, though, I think it's a very big difference. And I'll talk about that some other time. Let me keep on with the Diddy and all that stuff, because I know that's what y'all here for. That's what y'all want to hear. Y'all don't want to hear nothing about la historia, tú sabes, para la gente latino, tú sabes, es diferente, pero aquí se, tú sabes, no quieren más, pero la bunchuchero por al dio. Entonces, sabes, la bunchuchero, siempre la bunchuchero. What we have here nowadays is we got a lot of people like Lil Rod and a lot of other people that are online nowadays, and the thing is they get around and they're able to set up these formats to be able to talk about whatever the fuck they want to talk about, and the people that are interviewing them realize that you involved too now. See, I want to tell a little girl, I kind of want to hit it. What's up? I kind of want to, I'm dead serious. I kind of want to dig out. Like, she ain't ugly at all. Like, shorty is fun. I can't see what her body look like, but I kind of want to bless her. Anyway, like, listen, I ain't even gonna hold you. Like, and I don't mean that like on no disrespectful shit either. Like, I kind of want to bless her, like for real, like you know what I'm saying. Like she type of chick you look at her like at 3 o'clock in the morning, you be like, ah, fuck it, guess you're pregnant. What we gonna name the baby? You know what I'm saying? She like one of them types. I ain't even gonna hold you. You know what I'm saying? Shorty cute, but be careful. Don't be shy, ho. Be careful when you interview. You understand? Because these niggas can have you lined into a dissertation. You understand, TT? And what they'll do is they'll base off what this nigga said on your podcast and they'll run with it. You understand? They're gonna run hard. And it might put you in a position where your material is used as state witness, or not state witness, federal witness in this case. And you could be dragged in subsequently right behind it. Understand me, TT? So I know you're trying to give the T, TT, but be careful. Don't be sorry, ho. Be careful. You understand what I'm saying? I'm saying that from a loving space. I ain't saying that trying to embarrass you or nothing like that. Like I said, I kind of want to. Yeah, listen, we gotta holler on some other shit. I gotta take you get some to eat. Sound like because you finding a motherfucker. Hey, there's somewhere else. No respect, but Diddy got a lot of death around him. How we know, Mikhail Abdullah, you don't have a lot of death around you? We don't know you. I don't know you. So for you, like, you know, this is a problem I have too. I have men that go by the names of, you know, Supreme or Abdullah or the Brother Righteous and all that shit. And they be the first ones jumping on board trying to back up motherfucking federal agents when the same federal agents and investigated y'all niggas and in some cases put y'all on fucking lists. Y'all never talk about that shit, do you? Brother Abdullah. Huh? Brother Abdullah. You don't ever talk about the 14-year-old girl right now that's in a high-rise project somewhere in the East Side or somewhere in the Bronx or somewhere in Queens or somewhere in Jersey, or he was out here in Connecticut that's getting touched right now by somebody that's somebody's mama's boyfriend. We don't ever talk about that, do we? Malika Abdullah. See, you don't have any preemptive shit on this shit. This is why if this stuff did happen, it was so easy to happen. So, Brother Abdullah, you're going to have to pardon me because my mother comes from that whole pro-black joint, and so does my father. You understand what I'm saying? Brother Abdullah. And if you lined off and you tapped out or whatever, that means you're not a man of any type of worth for me to even have a conversation with, because a man of worth would have sat here and had a conversation. In fact, I'm going to keep it a buck with you. Your admittance of moving out of the conversation so quickly and so abruptly gets to let me know that you was nobody but a spectator. And that's what you got a lot of these motherfuckers that jump online. They talking all this stuff about Puff right now. These niggas were spectators if this stuff was going on. That's my point. And that was my whole point with Lil Rod when I brought Lil Rod up. Lil Rod, you did an album with Sparkle in 2021. Around about 2021, that's when the stuff popped with Gayle King interviewing him shortly after that. This is when he was locked up right down there in Brooklyn. We talking about R. Kelly. You wide array knew what was going on with R. Kelly, Shun. You understand what I'm saying? Yet, here's the chick that her niece is the antithesis. Literally the antithesis of the beginning of the R. Kelly lawsuits. And you don't know what's going on in the music industry. You trying to tell me you got around Puff and all of a sudden now everything is privy to you. Everything is brighter. What the fuck happened when you were sitting there for months recording the album with Sparkle? Y'all ain't never have a conversation about R. Kelly. The whole reason she threw out the album at that time frame because she hadn't thrown out a prior effort since 2001. Y'all don't believe me? Go look. Her first album was 1998. Her second album was 2001. And her third effort was in 2021 this recently. Huh? I'm going to go Dick Gregory on you. Huh? You understand what I'm saying? I wish Dick Gregory was here right now. Because he be putting y'all in check. I feel his spirit in me sometimes. I love that guy. I feel his spirit in me. A lot of y'all sit around and talk about this tether shit, but worship Dr. Sebi. Dr. Sebi was Colombian. Claro que sí, en la mente ahora. Dr. Sebi was Colombian. El negro colombiano, but Dr. Sebi, yes, Dr. Sebi and his daughter, the Colombian. The fuck? I hear so many people running around and be telling Dr. Sebi this, Dr. Sebi that. Oh my God, these tethers. Dr. Sebi was Colombian. Take out the Sebi out. If you're going to say that tether bullshit, take Dr. Sebi out your conversations. You're going to talk about the Black Panthers? Who was it that hit the Black Panthers that left out, including Tupac Shakur, Ashanti Shakur, his godmother, who hit her for years? And this is a known fact. This is a known fact. Fidel Castro and Real Castro defended H. Rap Brown and many others. They hid them from the U.S. government. More than I can say for you fuckers that are online right now helping out the U.S. government. Yeah, and you know what? We got another post right now. Let me put this one up. Diddy did this, did that. And we got another person that's accusing that said that Diddy did that. Y'all motherfuckers do more work for the fucking government than the government is doing themselves. You got to watch these niggas. Keep trying to tell y'all. And a lot of people get on here and they be like, oh my God. Nah, I can't stand them pro-Hotep niggas to be here. We knew what was going on, nigga, right now in your neighborhood, because most of them Hotep niggas ain't got a lot of money. Let's just keep it a buck. Malcolm X was poor as fuck. Martin Luther King was poor. If you get into advocacy, you poor. And you depend on the people. That's why I stopped doing advocacy, because there ain't no money in it. You understand what I'm saying? So, and I'm just being honest with you. I stopped doing advocacy for the people. When I was doing advocacy for the people, and I'm going to tell you what I mean by that so you don't think I'm a jerk. Y'all just saw me re-upload something the other day where I went to over there with Lord Jamal from Brand Nubian. They had filmed their video, Move On, Black Man, Move On, amongst their first videos. I went to Allah School of Mecca. Shout out to East Side of Harlem. They know what I'm talking about. So the video is up there right now in my shorts. You can go check it. I just recently re-uploaded it. I used to do stuff like that. I used to go to different spots. I went to Seneca Village, which is now the west side of Central Park. I gave the stories and examples. I read all the plates and everything like that. I went to when Malcolm X was assassinated at the Alderman Ballroom or whatever. What I started seeing inconsistency was when I was there, these so-called pro-blacks, they didn't have one strength that would even allow them to donate $3 so I would get a coffee. When I went during Black History Month and I spent $26 to get into the museum, the Metropolitan Museum of Modern Art, as many of y'all know New York City, I went through the whole entire display of West Africa and Black America. I also went through, in size enough because I'm half Black and Latino, I went through the exhibition for Latin America, whatever. You know who donated to me? 4 Latin Americans and not one Black person. They wouldn't even donate $3 for me to get a coffee. I don't do advocacies no more. They're quicker to tear you down than they are to lift you up. Trust me when I tell you that. The ones you have today, these are not the same Black Americans I grew up, my mother's Black American. These are not the same Black Americans you grew up with 10, 15, 20 years ago. If you think that, you are out of your mind and you are back in time. These people are narcissists and they don't care about anybody but themselves. So screw all that fucking, when I get the brother Abdullahs and positive brother Hakeems, I don't feel none of that shit no more, because I spent 3 years on this channel trying to promote that type of shit and trying to be an extension. And if my mother was around, make her proud of what I was doing. And my aunt, she would have been proud of what I was doing too, or what I was attempting to do. But they did the same thing to my aunt. You understand what I'm saying? My aunt had a little public access channel, whatever. It was dependent on what y'all call modern day. At that time, they were mailing in donations. Limited support. But everybody tuned into the show. It didn't make sense. So, yeah, I don't do all that shit for the people shit. I just do what makes sense. You understand what I'm saying? And unfortunately, we had to partner up with what y'all call the white man to actually get some proper, how can I say it, some proper residuals out here. You know what I'm saying? African Americans don't donate to me. Very rarely I have, especially the men. The men, most of the men I find are jealous of me, or they're just like, they're silly, or like we as many of y'all know here on this channel, we'll have times when we'll have many of male trolls come in here and they'll just be talking crazy or whatever. And now I guess I started embarrassing them in front of the women. The women started catching on to it. You know what I'm saying? I have no hate, resentment for Black American women in my heart. Although I will say this, a lot of Black American women seemingly go against their own men in their best interest. For what reason, I do not know why. But I need to stop that stuff because it's making you look silly. Well, you guys are online and you're going against your men or whatever, which it makes you a target. It makes you a target by multiple other different races. And what those multiple other different races look at it is, these women have no support. These women have no protection. So we can do whatever the fuck we want to do to them. And you're thinking the opposite of that because you're thinking from the men's perspective. I think many of you are. You're thinking from the men's perspective, oh, when we tear them down, we'll get a white man to get them out of the way. Listen, short, I ain't scared of no white man. You understand what I'm saying? Why, if we were scared of white men, niggas wouldn't be still out here doing crimes. We would have stopped 10, 15, 20 years ago. So you trying to use that as your target area is going to fail for you every time. Every time. And I know there's a lot of you girls like to do that. You think I'm lying, huh? I have been in a situation. Matter of fact, I saw a video the other day. Let me tell you about this video I saw a video the other day. This to prove my point. And there was where's that damn thing at? I'm looking for my tablet. I'll pull it up. Oh, it's all the way down on there. Never mind. I wanted to pull it up for you. But I saw this. I can explain to you. I saw this video. And there was this guy. He was Asian. And it was this black dude. And they were in a doctor's office. And the Asian dude, I guess he felt comfortable because a lot of people be doing stuff like that. They pick spaces to have problems. You know what I'm saying? Well, I'm safe over here. If I start something here, certainly somebody gonna break it up, and certainly ain't nothing gonna happen to me to that extreme. All right, listen. If y'all saw me on a bus the other night, I told Duke, you saw how quickly he shut all that shit up. He got real quiet when I started speaking. I was really speaking. I was like, yo, Duke, I'll poke you up on this. But if any of y'all was on that ride with me when I was going home the other night, y'all know what I'm talking about. Duke was on there, yeah, and I was gonna kill him and all that. I said, yo, Duke, let me move away from Duke. Like my first instinct's to poke you. You know what I'm saying? We might have to poke the crazy dude on the bus. That's all I'm saying. So between me not poking this dude, I moved away from him, right? He subsequently got a little bit loud. I'm trying to tell you people's temperament here. He got a little bit loud or whatever. And this was a black dude. Y'all seen other crazy people on my camera before. A lot of these same crazy people ain't just in public. They online as well. And a lot of these people, for certain reasons or another, they happen to be of the culture. They even happen to be Latin American or Black Americans. Yes, some of it I blame on poverty. A lot of it I blame on poverty. A lot of it I blame on impoverished neighborhoods. A lot of it I blame on lack of education. A lot of it I blame on we have systematically a lot of women that feel that they're in the know about everything and they're actually not. Subsequently to that, we also have a linear fashion. We have a lot of men that these women, secret women have raised that also think that however they feel inside is the end quote pro quo of everything. For example, when I went to the arraignment of the mayor this last time, it was this group of black dudes that were down there. And as I walked past, they saw me talking to like there's certain people I have to talk to when I get down there. That's none of y'all business, but there's certain people I have to talk to let them know I'm there. Ain't no space for me. You understand what I'm saying? Ain't no space for me. They're gonna remove me from away from over there. Let somebody not know me, they're gonna remove me away from over there, and that's just what that is. You understand what I'm saying? And you will not be able to return back. They will take a picture of you. You understand what I'm saying? And they will hang it as a flyer. That's just what it is. So I walked off or whatever, and I was talking when I first got up there. There's certain people that I got talked to. So they saw me talking to these gentlemen. So right when they saw me talking to these gentlemen, asking, yo, what should I be? I'm here because of, boom, when they saw me talk to those two gentlemen, one of those gentlemen happened to be black and another one that happened to be Latino, all right, but they were in power positions. The first thing they did was, hey, brother, what's going on, brother? Because they thought they was going to get something out of me. You understand what I'm saying? Because if you saw all the other people, they were regulated to across the street. They were this privy and had privilege like us. So they was across the street. You know what I'm saying? Where they were supposed to be. He took that because they were part of a protesting movement. That's the part I'm getting at. But they were down there to protest a black mayor. I was down there and I covered both of the Trump arraignments, both of them. They're still on this channel. I didn't see those guys down there for that. Help me out here. What were those black gentlemen there for that? But they wanted to come down there for, get him out of the office, get him out of here. Same thing I saw black protesters down there for Puffjoy. He's going to jail. Why does this impact the people that want to, per se, pounce on their own, but don't say nothing to the motherfucking other powers that be, like Brother Abdullah, Mikhail Abdullah. I don't trust no nigga with them Abdullah names, puzzle the brother Hakeem. I don't trust none of that shit. Y'all give me a second, we'll get something to drink. I don't never trust no nigga with them positive brother Hakeems, Abdullahs. I don't trust none of that shit. Anyway, so positive brother Abdullah. I ain't gonna block you or nothing like that, but at least be a man next time and state your point, my boy. Don't come up in here with no conspiracy theories and all that shit. I don't do that shit. Any questions to me before I continue on? Because I don't. That's why I don't like. Let me tell y'all something. I remember walking up into people's homes, friends of mine, especially my friend Archie Davis. Shout out to him out in Rhode Island. Shout out to my other boy, Mikhail, who I know a real Mikhail. Shout out to my ex, who was born and raised Muslim, Sunni Muslim to be exact, who I was with for 7 years. And I love at the bottom of my heart, even though we broke up and it's been years since we've been together. One of the few women that I truly, truly, truly love. And if I could get in a time machine and go back, I'd snatch that motherfucker and bring her back to now. You know what I'm saying? That's on some real shit. And it did change my personality a lot. Not for the worse. I've always been the same motherfucker. But and she was a black woman for all the sisters. You know what I'm saying? All the sisters. And a humble woman at that. Very humble woman. If anything else, I'd give her that. Very humble, very cheering. When she came in the house, she always made sure she talked like a half a white woman half the time. I ain't gonna lie to you. But had one of the purest hearts, um, one of the most true forms of expression of being oneself, um, one that you could learn from. Had words and articulations that I wasn't even privy to, and I'm a pretty smart guy. Had ways of presenting herself where you would actually want to pay attention to. This was a beyond normal woman, and God was as gracious enough to put me in this woman's path. And so when y'all say, "Oh, well, he don't like black women," you sound fucking crazy. Because I love this motherfucker, and the one before her, which was well, two back, I had a baby by. She was blacker than the ace of spades. Anybody that know me, I like dark skin. When I deal with black women, I like dark skinned black women. Like I'm talking about blue black. If you black and you like got this certain type of features and shit, I don't know. I don't know. It just does something for me. But like I don't particularly go after light skinned black women, if that makes any sense. But Latinas is a little bit different. Mestizo, negra, blanco, it don't matter. But like with black American women or just black women in general, I prefer like dark skinned black women. I definitely do. I love a black motherfucker. Excuse my French. I'm just thinking now. I'm like, I like how black, like I like how their skin looks. I like how they look as like they always look regal to me. And like, especially if they're slim, like the two that I had, they just happen to be slim. The way their body to face ratio looks, it just looks so like I don't know how to explain it to you guys, but it's just beautiful. It's like real beautiful. My ex, she wasn't that dark skin, but she was definitely medium brown, I say. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I prefer dark skinned black women. But a lot of death around him. Man. Yeah, I don't like them. I don't like that. I'm just reading what that kid said. Moving on. Let's move on to granny panties. I want to talk about granny panties. Now, some of y'all don't know who Granny Panties is. Some of y'all not gonna know who Granny Panties is, and that's quite all right. Because point is, we're not promoting Granny Panties. In fact, I'm gonna say from the bottom of my heart, and I mean this with all due respect, fuck Granny Panties. How about that? Um, with that being said, I want to say this: Granny Panties sits around a lot of times and tries to scare people in that old school way or whatever the case may be. Truth be it, other matter. If Granny Panties met my mother would wash you. You understand what I'm saying? But that's not for a mistake of measure. In fact, granny panties is the type of woman that older women avoid. I ain't hang around that bitch. You know what I'm saying? You ever heard your mom or your, I'm talking about for those over 35. You ever heard your mom say, okay, some shit like that? She was talking about broads like this. See, a lot of these broads, these old broads that y'all see online, these hoes been gossiping and chattering, or their aunties been chattering and gossiping for years. This was a chick. A lot of these chicks out here gossiping. That auntie was the one that was in a local nail salon and hair place with pink rollers in the hair back in 1980 something when you was growing up. And your mother used to be like, oh, okay, let's go. I ain't talking to that bitch. You know what I mean? Like, for real, y'all remember this. So let's not make things up here. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you're ethnic. We used to avoid women like this. You know what I'm saying? Now there's a magnet that draws us to these type of women that are like this. And I'm not saying all of them are wrong. Some of them, they got their points, and I get it, and I respect their points. Not that you guarantee respect because you got a J, but there's some of you, I respect your points, right? So I listen to these women, and some of them, they do it for salaciousness, and some of them do it because they really trying to prove a point because something priorly may have happened to them. Make no mistake about it, ladies, and you listen to me very fucking well here, all right? Listen very fucking well. If something really happened to you, fuck that motherfucker and 10 motherfuckers that look like him. And you let us know, we might go handle it for you, all right? We don't hate you here. But you're doing some shit here that you don't understand how it's detrimental to your sons, your nephews, or whatever. We're talking about presumptuousness and reputation here. And however you feel, however the fuck you feel, do the same way as our white compadres do here, huh? And let the story take its own. But nobody needs you to be sitting like the first fucking 48. This is the new Diddy update. And guess what? This happened. And that's the problem I have with granny panties. See, granny panties is a lot different than the rest of us. The rest of us are at still clubbing ages, if you want to say. A lot of us are still going to the clubs. Hell, y'all see me go out all the time. A lot of us are still out in the field. We moving around. We going to different locations, which is pretty much my style. Granny panties ain't doing it. See, granny panties is what I like to call a lazy fucking vlogger, which you guys, for some reason or another, like to sit around and reward on a regular basis, while they don't do anything but tap into their Google senses, Google whatever comes up, and then they deliver it to you, the same information. They don't have anything that's on scene. They don't have anything that can offer you that's an exclusive or whatever. No, what they're offering to you most of the time is what most of us are offering as stories. See, what makes us different as bloggers and shit like that are those moments when you can actually go off and you can do something that's outside the norm of what most other bloggers do. And what you'll find very easily is if you pay attention to all these bloggers, one thing that the majority, I would go as far as to say 90% of them have uniformly is this. These motherfuckers always in their bedroom. These motherfuckers always in the kitchen. And I'm going to keep saying this shit. If you gonna sit in your bedroom like the coward motherfucker you are and never come outside with the rest of us, I'm gonna always hound you. You always gonna have some pressure under you. I don't care if it's fucking 5 years from now. This is New York. You understand what I'm saying? If people no surgen, yo soy latino la mareno ahí, entonces sabe claro, pero mi corazón ahí yo tengo problema, capaz contigo. Like fuck that, nigga. Nah, we beef for forever. We beef for forever. You understand what I'm saying? That means we might be 60, still watch your walk. I don't like you. You understand? So I get a lot of these girls, I get a lot of these guys that be on here, and they be talking too much. They be too presumptuous. And a lot of these women and men, like I always say this about Jaguar. This ain't taking no shots at Jaguar or whatever, but Huggy Pampers, you already know what the fuck it is. Unlike the rest of these suck ass niggas, the thing about me and Jaguar Wright was I saw when some sucker shit was enduring, and I said, oh, you know what? Let me pull back for a minute. She can say whatever fuck she want to say. I don't care what she say. You understand what I'm saying? But one thing I'm talking about is different from what a lot of y'all niggas realize or not. Jaguar actually shoots you. I actually shoot you. And so I knew that when dealing with her, what I was up against. A lot of y'all be dealing with her and don't understand that this woman knows how to correctly shoot. You understand what I'm saying? Very well. You understand what I'm saying? Almost to the stature that I do. And I'm going to prove my point to you. A lot of her videos subsequently over the years have been removed off YouTube for whatever reason they may be. So a lot of things that are addressing or go along with Jaguar Wright's story are put to y'all in a format of somebody rehashing it from something they clipped or whatever. You might not get the full story of what was going on at the time. But her and her ex-husband Goomba, they had a lot of story here. You understand what I'm saying? Especially when they started out, which coincidentally, her and I started out at the same time. Some of my first actual videos that are up on my channel will support a Jaguar, right? She knows that, and I know that. The rest of the world, they ain't got to fucking ever know that. I don't care what the fuck you think, really, honestly. I'm not here for friends. You understand what I'm saying? I've got some cool people that chat in and say what's up, things like that, and I appreciate it or whatever. But if you don't hit that donation button, you are not a supporter of me, which you can find right down there below, which I feel justified in saying it the first time within an hour and a half of being live. So guys, please make sure you support this channel. $STRINGERBELL80. We also going to be having something special for y'all probably 3 times this week, depending on y'all support right now. We're going to try a low ball. We just want to make $60. How about that? That $60 is going to be used towards transportation costs, and many other little small things or whatever. You can't get very far. So that's a very low bar. So make sure you guys, if you've been here before, you've not been here before, make sure you support this channel like I support every other channel. If you don't, that's fine too. You understand what I'm saying? And for all you positive brothers and sisters, just remember how you left me. You understand? There's going to be a time when niggas need me. Trust me. Everything I always say is true. You know what I'm saying? And at that point, I'm going to look back at it. And I'm not being funny. I'm not being funny. I'm not trying to pressure you. I'm not trying to embarrass you. People get that confused. I'm just pointing out the obvious. There's going to be a point where you're going to want to come to me and you're going to want to talk to me. And I'm not going to talk to none of you. You understand what I'm saying? Because I'm going to be like, if I got a raise scale, and this is where a lot of y'all, I always had a problem with this, where somebody say, oh, you a sellout, or you only doing this for YouTube. Well, versus what? You? I saw somebody in the chat room talking about what's that nigga name? Lil Rod. Lil Rod said, yeah, I've been having to move around. I've been having to do this. Like, I don't know what it is. Black and Latin culture, they love a villain. And they love a fake villain, though. They don't like a real villain. Like, I'm a real villain. They like fake villains. Like, the fake villain is a nigga to get on YouTube, talk a whole bunch of shit, hop off YouTube, but you never be able to see this nigga in the street. Fake. You understand what I'm saying? I'm outside all the time. I be in the hood. I don't know what more I gotta do to show I'm like, not I'm better or whatever, you know what I'm saying? It's just, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? And like certain niggas can't move around like that. Certain one of these bloggers can't move around like that. I understand. You understand what I'm saying? Especially if you're a New York blogger. There's some New York bloggers there. I wish you would pull up on a corner trying to do a podcast to see if they get the same response I get based off their reputation. You got to be respected to do shit like that. I've been in front of Marcy Ave, Marcy Projects. You know what I'm saying? And under protection by real G's that was out there. Y'all know, y'all seen the video up here. I've been in Queensbridge. Niggas that don't even know me. Yo, this a real nigga right here. It's on camera. The nigga stopped my camera. It's like, yo, this a real nigga right here. Like, you know what I'm saying? The other niggas out there that's evidently, you can just look at them and say they see they shooters. It's like, nah, Shun, he good. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I don't come from no sucker shit. And it's on camera. Like, I ain't got to lie to you. I ain't forced them to say that. They said it on their own. You understand? So a lot of times what y'all mistake is, and this is weird, y'all mistake is a real dude or somebody that's really honest or something like that, or a real chick or whatever. It's cowards just sitting in their bedroom and talk about people because they too scared to come outside now because they ain't talk so much shit. There's certain bloggers on here that talk so much shit about Puff. In the recent 2 weeks of Puff been locked up, they wouldn't have never said that shit if Puff was out. Never. You wouldn't have made mention of his name. Come on, let's stop lying here. Let's keep it 1,000. Let's stop lying here. Y'all wouldn't have mentioned Puff's name ever. But now you got so many brave bloggers, men and women, and he did this, he did that. That's one that brings you to granny panties. I heard granny panties today. Granny panty, you real slick, but you're not slick as you think you are. See, the problem is, we are still people that are of the club going age. We are still people that are part of the music industry. We'd be in music industry events. We'd be heavily into hip hop or whatever. Well, you and your husband, y'all just sit up and he plays basically your sidekick, like you Batman, he's Robin. This emasculated man who I could see through a mile away. That's a emasculated man. Anytime he'd be like, baby, James Brown, baby. Let me say something, baby. Baby. That nigga sit over there all the time. Baby. You and your little punk ass, weak ass husband to sit over there. Cause that nigga weak. I done caught you like the first 3 times I caught you out when the broad used to talk over you or shut you up, or she shut down your whole channel, which was her channel, whatever. I said, yeah, this nigga in the pocket. That's her channel. She made money off that channel monthly, and she divvy it up with him. So you the sidekick. So she Batman and you Robin. Automatically, how you gonna be a military man and you fucking playing Robin to your bitch? Come on, man. I ain't got no respect for you no more, son. But anyway, his wife would shut him up in any given time or whatever, because that's her boy. You understand what I'm saying? She wasn't able enough to get the type of man she actually wanted, so she settled for Duke. That's what it really boiled down to. This is a woman, Granny Panties, who has spent her entire life trying to emulate the arch attributes, style, and resonance of an American white woman and has failed completely. And she based this off of her skin tone. See, I know a whole bunch of light-skinned girls that do this. Light-skinned Latina girls do this. Creo que sí, pero la gente latina, tú sabes, las mujeres en la mente ahí se la blanquita, en la toda blanquita. So listen to me very well. You have a set of light-skinned individual, women and men, that run around this country based upon the fact that they might have straighter hair, they might be light-skinned. Many people can refer back to the brown paper rule back in Louisiana, if you don't understand what I'm talking about, that will actually live their life out as if they are something other than Black American, huh? And what I mean is, they're not even trained in other cultures. They're not even been induced in other cultures. They just automatically start acting this out. But one thing I found and a lot of people in the Northeast, you understand exactly what I'm talking about. There ain't no worse interaction you'll have than with a hotel doorman that believes that you, as a person of color, should not be in that white establishment. And the only niggas that should be working the motherfucking door is be in that hotel, should be working the door. I'm trying to tell you, it's always like that. Same thing applies here on YouTube. That's why I put up the clip the other day, if you guys will see it, with Cam and Mace. Shout out to Cam and Mace. Eastside, what's happening? I'm here, baby. I'm here. You know what I'm saying? But if you check out Cam and Mace's piece they did with Mike Tyson, he speaks about the same thing. He says, yo, there was people during the times of slavery that actually wanted to still stay in slavery. Can you believe that? What's better than this? What's better than Candyland? Ass motherfuckers. Anyway, long story short, these Candyland survivors. These Candyland survivors and their offspring still mitigate the popular culture we have here. So a lot of their mentality still resonates. So even though you'll see it put in an articulate form like Granny Panties does, make no mistake about it, Granny Panties in the majority is a misandrist. She does not like men of color. The only type of man that fits her array is a man that is underneath her. Had her husband with the bald head that sits right next to her all the time, you understand what I'm saying? Ex-military man, he kind of backs up all the bullshit that bitch does. Dude, the day you were able to stand up and grab your nuts up out of your butt and say to that bitch, all right, ho, this is enough. Now shut the fuck up. I'm taking over the goddamn ship. But shut up. Until the day you're able to do that, sir, that bitch is going to run up all over you. You understand what I'm saying? So you ain't got no balls to say nothing to you, bitch. That's the worst position you could be at. Don't ever be in a position where you a weak motherfucker and you depend on a woman. You understand what I'm saying? Because if you're a weak motherfucker and you depend on a woman, the woman is going to automatically pick that shit up just like that. You think I'm lying? Think I'm lying, huh? You know why you think I'm lying? Because you live with your bitch. You've been there for the past 10, 15 years. He lying. Move out the house now. Move out her spot tonight. Move out her spot tonight. Go ahead. And some niggas been laying up with their hoe, and y'all know what I'm talking about. And some niggas been laying up with their hoe for about 10, 15, 20, 30 years. You understand? Some of y'all ladies looking at that motherfucker right now as I'm talking. All right? This motherfucker ain't never did nothing but helped you out on the light bill, cable fucked up a little bit. He got a little $300. You understand what I'm saying? But he ain't never really did nothing significant. You understand what I'm saying? Like as far as helping you and shit like that. Well, the same thing go for a lot of these niggas that you think they in the Hollywood space like Granny Panties and her husband, but in reality, Granny Panties bringing in all that money. Granny Panties bringing in all that money. And unless you a simp motherfucker that can resolve that, and you can live with that being a simp, like you gotta make a choice if you want to be a simp in a relationship. That's my personal opinion. Y'all understand what I mean? You come into the situation, your bitch already make money, right? So now you got to come to the conclusion, can I handle this woman being who she is? And because I done been with chicks like that. You understand what I'm saying? I had an ex-girlfriend that was a drug dealer. Crazy ass Italian bitch. And I'm trying to say crazy ass Italian chick from Rhode Island. I talked about her many of times. You know what I'm saying? She's not a drug dealer no more. But I dated a girl that sold an opulent amount of motherfucking crack and cocaine. You understand what I'm saying? And this bitch was Italian. You understand what I'm saying? I'm talking about to numbers you couldn't even imagine. And yes, a lot of it had to do with she was an innocent looking Italian girl. You understand what I'm saying? A lot of her run had to do with that. And she never got arrested. Never got arrested, never got convicted. Ain't many people can walk away and say that. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my old gal Katie. You heard? This is a true story. Anybody in CT know hear me? Y'all know I'm telling the truth. So if you date a woman getting money, you gotta know how to play your position. That's how I feel. And sometimes your position might just be what you previously thought was her position. And that's just to shut the fuck up. But there's other times where those women are looking for a strong man. And they're looking for a man to come in and commandeer the situation. Like, hold up, bitch. I know you make more money than me, but listen, we go in the wrong direction here. This and that. Shut the fuck up. Listen what the fuck I'm talking about. I'm trying to kill us how to keep the money, bitch. Shit. I love you. Just shut the fuck up for a minute. I got you. Fuck you think I'm against you for? Huh? Fuck make you think I'm against you for? Don't I sleep here every fucking night? What the fuck would I be against you for? No, this us against them, dummy. We're trying to fit in with these motherfuckers. They don't like you. What does it tell to me? That's why I was talking about the positive brother Abdullah came in here. These motherfuckers will sit around all day long. Don't you find this weird? These people will sit around all day long. Oh, the American government, the system is cracked and all that. Then we got motherfuckers up here advocating like granny panties for the fucking government. I'm like, what the fuck are y'all doing? Y'all hate these motherfuckers but love them at the same time? Like, help me out. What is this, a first 48 U.S. edition? So a bunch of motherfuckers is willing to take the stand and snitch on another man of color. Do you think they would do this for their own culture? You didn't even see these many people upset when fucking Harvey Weinstein did what he did, or Epstein. They ran a couple of flips about it or whatever, and that was it. People are more mad at Puff for having basically what we can see as consensual sex. Well, a group of individuals that came there to sling D and sling Vajay. You understand what I'm saying? Now everybody want to add shit in. There was some kids there. Justin Bieber is a victim. See, y'all can't, y'all, listen. So Black America, all this tether talk and how the white man is enemy. And out of everybody y'all feel fucking sorry for, y'all feel sorry for Justin fucking Bieber? Are you kidding me? Y'all concerned about Justin fucking Bieber? All this tether talk, all this, the white man is doing this, the white man is doing, like Brother Abdullah came in here. But as a Black American race, y'all are collectively upset about what may or may have not happened to Justin fucking Bieber. I can point you to a whole bunch of black child actors and way worse shit happened to them. And they're able to prove it. Anybody ever go over there and ask fucking Orlando Brown what the fuck happened to him? No, instead what y'all do, y'all place Orlando Brown on these whole different outlets. And y'all take the crazy shit that y'all say because y'all know something is wrong with them and y'all run with it. There's something wrong with y'all, the spectators. There's something wrong with y'all, the content providers. There's something wrong with y'all. In my opinion, these motherfuckers have been so influential, especially in I won't say as much as the millennial space. The millennials are able to keep up on it. But the Gen Z space is starting to believe you motherfuckers, and that worries me. Because that means potentially when I have a kid, year and a half from now, whatever, he's going to be in the symmetry of these little motherfucking robots and drones that have been programmed from staples of people that have, in most of the cases, never been accomplished enough to be in some of these spaces that they speak of and they talk about. And that disturbs me a hell of a whole lot, you know? Granny Panties presented on her page today truths with falsehoods. And I'm going to tell you what this freaking POS said, because I don't like her. It's one thing if you tell the story what you think or whatever, but you try to implement Janice Combs, which is Diddy's mom, into something that she had nothing to do with. You made up a lot of falsehoods. Like, for example, you said one point in your video, and I heard you very carefully, oh, they were refreshing themselves from a freak off. You know, the video where he kisses his mom in the mouth or whatever, however y'all want to produce it or whatever, because everybody's got all these extremities of what they see. Did you see what Pop did? What about what the fuck your niece and nephew did? I want to start talking about some of these people, including some of these vloggers that have nieces and nephews and stuff like that that are on probation. You know what I'm saying? Some people, they may be a product of incest. Where are all those black people at? Can we talk about the regular black American people and Latinos that do this shit? Like, there's Latinos, they ain't nothing to be, listen, they ain't nothing to be in the islands, anywhere in the islands. Don't give us Jamaica, Belize, wherever the fuck you at, Cuba, wherever. Ain't nothing to be in the islands and see a nigga that's like 45 with a 16-year-old. Somebody tell me I'm lying. And what they gonna say? Well, he can take care of her. If you're from the Caribbean, come in right now and tell me I'm wrong. I'm waiting. Right. Mm-hmm. Everybody gets boomers crap. We're gonna miss us when we're gone. Ella, remember the drone this internet-less world. That is the most realist statement I've ever heard in a minute. I'm not a boomer. I'm a zennial, but I will say this: zennial, not millennial, zennial. It's just like weird patch. We're like the youngest of the batch of Gen X's. That's what it stands for. We're the youngest of the batch of Gen X's. But with that being said, boomers are actually the class above us, and those are people like in their 60s and shit like that now, or late 50s and shit like that, like anywhere between like 58 past that. Them, Generation X, and the Zennials are the last three generations that will remember how the world used to be. I'll say this for you again. Generation X, Zennials, and Boomers are the last three people that will remember that the world before the internet. They will remember the world when we used to all just talk to each other and have interpersonal relationships. They will remember a world we used to go to the mall to meet girls. They will remember a world where we used to go to the club to meet girls. They will remember a world where if you were talking with somebody on the phone, eventually y'all will meet up, if not sooner than later. We remember a world where you had people that actually gave a shit about each other, not their incoming demise and celebrating it. We remember a world prior to the internet where you didn't have women that are now online and men that are now online gossiping. At one time, they would have been shamed in the neighborhood and the community. Y'all know exactly what I'm talking about, especially a lot of y'all involved. If that bitch came around with the pink rollers in their hair and the real long fingernails or whatever, they'd be like, oh, stay away from that one. What happened? Oh, she tell everybody's business. Remember Bonita? It used to be on The Color Purple. Many of y'all grew up, used to be on The Living Color. A lot of y'all grew up with that. Remember her? Well, you ain't heard it from me, though. I ain't the one to gossip. You know why she said you ain't heard it from me? Because it used to be shame and gossiping. Granny Panties got on her show today. I'm going to go back to her. Granny Panties got on her show today, and she said a certainty. And Granny Panties, if you claim you got all these lawyers or whatever, they should be advising you, ho. They should be advising you, ho. Don't be sorry, ho. Be careful, Granny Panties. You and your little bald head husband, he should be advising you too. So went on a page today and said, yeah, they were rehydrating themselves, trying to make it look like it was worse than what it was because she doesn't like men of color. She's so low down that she'll go after another man's mother. This is a low ball fruit right here. These are the people that we were talking about before. So she goes on a podcast and she says, for certainty, and I heard you say this, Granny Panties. She said, yeah, they were dehydrating themselves from one of their last freak offs. I know it. That's what you said. Then you followed that behind and you said another lie, adding on to the story. When anybody, and you try to correlate it, and you're very slick. Let me tell you what this slick ass broad does. She's actually a very mean woman. You can really tell she's a really mean, bitter woman in her personalities offline. What she did was she tried to correlate the story and make it look like last month Janice Combs had some type of accident. Yeah, vindictive was a good word. She had some type of shock or revelation about Pup that it caused her to have some type of health issues. Let me tell you motherfuckers something about hippo law. Do y'all know anything about hippo law? I tried to explain this to a hoe that tried to run a motherfucking podcast about me with a whole bunch of falsehoods. I never addressed that bitch because more or less I'd rather get you the fuck up out of here for doing some shit like that. But I'm chilling right now. You know, maybe we'll revisit that one day, huh? But anyway, long story short, let me tell you about these hoes that be getting online. And I call them hoes, not to be mistaken with ladies, girls, and princesses and real queens, not the KKK-ings. That's what we're going to start calling them, the KKK queens. You understand what I'm saying? Because a lot of these chicks are doing the bidding for white supremacy right in front of our fucking faces and nobody's paying attention to it. And they're doing it all in order to get views, likes, subscriptions, and get paid. Huh? Huh? Okay. So pay attention to what I'm saying, kiddos. You might learn something. Granny Panties is trying to campaign where she's so much a misandrist, in my opinion, meaning that she doesn't like men. You understand what I'm saying? She only likes the men that are immediate around her and fit the foray of her thinking pattern. Because in my personal opinion, based on how Granny Panty carries herself, how she tries to speak, hey, you know, this is just such a mess. She's one of these classic old school black women that try to mix up the sassiness of a black woman with the mitigation of a white woman. And it's this weird fucking clusterfuck that happens. And it's just like both of them start competing with each other. I want to be a white woman. I want to be a black woman. I want to be a white woman. I want to be a black woman. You know, it just start competing with each other. And then sooner or later, what you start finding is you got a fucking nut. You understand what I'm saying? So Granny Panty, she tries to participate and present herself as if she's a white woman, when we can all look at this light-skinned black woman and tell who exactly who the fuck you really are. You're a real big fucking piece of shit, in my opinion. Because any woman that gets online and talks about another woman's mother, another man's mother, and you're a mother yourself, you understand? Because if I would have went online and I talked about Granny Panty's kids, which I'm pretty sure ain't in the same financial situation as Puff's kids, by a long shot. Your kids didn't even grow up like Puff's kids. Hell, your kids didn't even grow up like me. And your kids definitely ain't been in the same opportunity spaces or motherfuckers heights that I have. You understand what I'm saying? So is that fair? So when you hear somebody that's unaccomplished as somebody else talk about that person that's accomplished, you automatically know right there where that place is coming from. And it's from a long-standing tradition of mammies, such as the case Granny Panties. Granny Panties is the mammy. If you just listen to a diatribe, you could clearly hear that she doesn't like men of color, or at the very least, she is subjective to passing her judgment on men of color based on the skew and the tier that she feels is presentable in fucking public, which many of the times you will find fall in linear order or white supremacy. So when you're over there listening to Granny Panties, so tell the bitch I said it. I don't give a fuck. Fuck you. When you run over there and you tell Granny Panties what I said, make sure you tell her, bitch, you ain't doing nothing but the community. You ain't doing nothing for the community. You doing everything for the feds, or trying to at least. Do everything you can in your factors to get this man convicted because you don't like a man of color. You worse than white supremacy because you are enemy within amongst the rest of us. And there's many of these bitches online that will talk against the man of color based off the fact of misandry. The fact that Tony Busby turned around and said he had 3.4K motherfuckers that were willing to come forward or whatever, he deduced it down to 120. How the fuck do you do that, ladies and gentlemen? Go from 3.4K or whatever, 3.4K down to deducing it down to 120 motherfuckers. Are you trying to tell me there ain't nothing wrong here? And the only thing we hear is the echoes and vibes of the KKK queens versus the real queens is out here. Would the real queens get up and say some fucking thing? I'm tired. Where y'all at? What y'all do? Y'all went into retirement or something like that? Because these fake bitches and liars is out here winning. That's all I'm asking. Can the real bitch, what's Sister Soul Jet? That's all I'm asking. Can she come in and concur on this shit? Where's Shahrazad Ali at? Where's she? Can she come in and concur on this shit? So they don't know I'm making it up. They don't want to take it as seriously as I say it because it's from a male perspective, which in itself is fucking twisted. What are you bras? All collectively walking lesbians or some shit now? You don't like men? You're that deep in misandry and toxic masculinity? Toxic feminism that you just don't like men anymore? It doesn't fit you to be a woman of color in any culture and be was supporting the women's suffrage movement, furtherwise known in the future currently as the feminist movement, which was originated by Susan and Amelia Earhart. I can say that, this motherfuckers that follow behind doctrines of feminism or toxic feminism and don't even know who the fuck them two women are. There's women that follow behind toxic feminism in the white spectrum and don't even know both of those women, including Amelia Earhart, paid for Frederick Douglass' fucking funeral. Got a whole bunch of dumb motherfuckers over that woke shit. Well, I feel like anytime a motherfucker start the sentence off like that, people pay attention to me. Well, I feel like I don't want to hear nothing else you got to say. You start the sentence off, well, I feel like that means it's your fucking opinion. I don't care. People want to be anything but who they are instead of embracing what they got and making the best of that factory. My brother in Harlem, a school teacher and a businessman, that's a black man, honorable Spectators. You son, all classic defense. They just hated never mind hip-hop knowing he was a monster the first 30 years. Now, this is the thing, right? What's your name? Yassarian. Every time you hear niggas are called, I wish I would have seen you earlier. Anytime you see niggas named Yassarian, Abdullah, those names used to mean a lot back in the day, like 10, 15. I told you, I was with a Muslim woman for 7 years. Prior to that, I was always around people that were pro-black Muslim, all that shit. My mother was involved in that shit. I know what I'm talking about here. These people that pretend like they're pro-black now, like you got fucking Umar Johnson out here. I appreciate some of the things you said too, don't get me wrong, but you out here running around looking like Mr. T now and shit. Come on, niggas, fix it up. You out here looking like Mr. T out of the A-Team. Dun-dun-dun. I'm like, where the rest of the A-Team at? Oh, that's Umar. I saw that clip. I was like, oh shit, Mr. T back out here. The A-Team. Yo, any motherfucker know what I'm talking. Go look up a picture right now of Mr. T and the A-Team and look about Umar Johnson been looking normally, just like recently or whatever, with all the kente cloth shit on and the black, all the aesthetic in the back to make everybody believe he's deeper in the shit that he is. But I do appreciate some of the things he said recently. But nigga, you run around here look like Mr. T. I had to say it. But here we go. We have niggas like Saran or whatever. We have niggas by those names, right? These niggas are worthless. Listen to me. Most of the time, back in the day when you heard these people with these powerful names like Brother Hakeem and shit like that or whatever, these are guys would actually get the fuck up and do something. Kind of like when I always call out Sonetta and all them niggas. Them niggas was actually on the street. They know exactly what I'm talking about. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I'm not making this shit up. Sonetta, all those guys know exactly what the fuck I'm talking about. I used to be right there on 125th Street. I'd be listening to them. I walk up and down. You understand? Like I'd be out there. So my point is, I remember this, and when niggas was out there, even before that, selling VHS tapes on 125th, St. Nick, Lexington. Y'all know what I'm talking about if you in the town. Those guys used to be worth something because they really meant what they said and they really went about their way to do it. Sonetta and a couple of those guys, they still fit that foray. Even though they ain't made it digital now, Please trust and believe me. These men have led men. These men know what they're talking about to a certain extent, even though some of the stuff they throw in is conspiracy theory. A lot of stuff that's Sinet and all them guys, they know about, they talking about. All right, shout out to the east side over there. What I don't like is motherfuckers that want to be progenies of these niggas that come on here and they be like, oh, that's a typical excuse I see. Motherfucker, you ain't counsel. You don't work for the federal fucking office. You don't work for the prosecutor's office. You're not a lawyer. So nobody, you know what your worth is and your thought process is worth fucking piss all. Who gives a fuck what you think? It's not about what you think. Nobody gives a rat's ass what you think. And if you had a voice, you wouldn't be here on my fucking show. Huh? How about that one? Huh? And go stick that one up, you fucking. The point is, when you get these brother Hakeems and positive brother Abdullahs and shit like that, you look back at their fucking track record, what you'll find out very quickly is they just adapted these names maybe 2 or 3 years ago. They're not like Sinettas. They're not like the Noble Drew Ali's. They're not like any of these guys who were out here on the pivot, on foot, and what's the name, in front of these places, talking about their people like you see me do. See, the biggest trick that these bloggers pull on you nowadays is, and I keep trying to tell y'all that, and sooner or later y'all will get it, like everything else. Like I said, I feel free to go back through the history of my channel, and what I want you to pay attention to specifically is when you see me talk about certain things, pay attention to the timestamp of when I said it. I'll give you a perfect example. I told you that Kim Porter memoir was fake as fuck, right? The day that I tell y'all that, a day later, y'all ain't pay attention to kids, Albie Shaw and everybody else. They made a statement now, didn't they? I told y'all that there was a problem with one of the interviews I saw. You saw shortly after that, you understand what I'm saying? The person pulled that interview down off their channel. You saw also in regards to the Kim Porter book, 2 days after I said what I said, and they pulled that shit from Amazon as well, didn't they? It's just all about time. But I'm nobody. I'm small, but I'm big smart. You hear? You see what I'm dealing with? You're about to remember that. Baka time. See? Every time. It's a historical question. Can I ask you all this question? Mercedes Hood ornament necklace. A lot of people would say that's a Star of David. I know where you're going. We're not here to talk about the Jewish community. I live in Connecticut. I grew up around Italians, Greeks, and Jews. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not here to partake and answer questions about stuff like that or whatever. I'm centered on your community and what you're not doing. And now we got all these fake positive brother Hakeems that are out here doing piss or less of what I'm doing. You understand what I'm saying? I'm there in front of Trump Tower talking. I'm there at these motherfuckers listening. You know what? Once again, me and somebody else were the only niggas out there. And I spoke about this when I was at the last arraignment for the mayor there, Mayor Adams, which there was also a preponderance of black men specifically outside. He guilty. That shit was so embarrassing y'all did. That was so embarrassing when y'all did that. It was embarrassing when the white folks was out there talking about Trump like that. I was like, I ain't talking about that. Yeah, come on, stop it. But it was really embarrassing when you saw the black dudes out there. They was like, yeah, he guilty. Get him out of office. Get him out of office. You know, and I was just like, yo, just shut the fuck up. Ain't even no white people out here saying that shit. But y'all out here, no solidarity, no nothing. Like, y'all could have just sat by and been spectators and not said nothing. Y'all would have been all right, you know? But y'all down here embarrassing. So I had to separate myself from these niggas. And the first thing they did, as I was telling you this story before, is certain people that I have to talk to when I get down there. I'm not going to be allowed in certain spaces, period, point blank. You understand what I'm saying? They will tell you within, and if y'all was paying attention to my camera, they will tell you within 2 seconds, all right, keep that shit moving. Get out the way. Keep that shit moving. You can't be here. They telling everybody this. You understand what I'm saying? So you have to speak to certain people. I have to show them certain things or whatever to be able to be in the spots I be in. And that's why I say y'all niggas be taking advantage of me. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, the Cash App is right there in the Javon James up Jones. I appreciate that, man. He trying to see me get some money. You know what I'm saying? But let me continue on what I was talking about here. You have a lot of people that are online that do absolutely nothing for the culture as a turner. Gossiping and giving people information to what we want to say, update the gossiping. That's not helping the people. That's not a service to the people. If Puff goes to jail tomorrow and you live in the Midwest or you live down south or you live somewhere that's not adjacent to New York City or whatever, you don't know any of these so-called victims or whatever. I'm just saying theoretically, and you don't know any of these so-called victims or whatever the case may be, what justification do you get out of it? Other than seeing a man of color go to jail. That's the real modus operandi here. A lot of these bras just want to see a man of color go to jail because you had a bad breakup. Your baby daddy left you. Your daddy yourself didn't never hug you. It didn't like you. Your mama might have got snuffed out a couple of times, whatever the case may be. And I feel for you. You know what I'm saying? That shouldn't be justified. But the fact of the matter is, you have a lot of girls walking around with unresolved anger issues with inside of them, and it's now starting to pent itself out into mental illness. And when I see a lot of these girls talking online, I always pay attention to certain quirks, which I've shown you guys before. Like, guys, you tell me if you've noticed this. Have any of you guys ever noticed that a lot of Black American females now have this new thing that they do, and they walk around and they won't be talking to anybody on the phone, right? They'll wait until they get a few seconds in front of you, and then they'll start hoopering and hollering on the phone and cursing and all kinds of stuff or whatever, trying to get you to pay attention to them. And somehow, miraculously enough, thinking that that's sexually attractive, I guess. I don't know, but I've noticed it. I've noticed that a lot of Black American women, they'll walk in front, and they'll walk in front of white people and be perfectly normal. I just noticed this. I'm a people watcher. And then when they get in front of me, and I've showed y'all this on camera before several times, I said, watch, you see this girl, she's not talking to anybody. Wait till she gets in front of me. And in order to get my attention, she's going to start talking loud on the phone. And just like clockwork, I've shown y'all this 3-4 times. They do that shit just like that. And I'm like, well, what are you after? Are you after my attention? You just want me to pay attention? I don't know what it is, but it's a mental illness. Anytime you're looking for complete strangers to pay attention to you and you're worried about that, and that's your modus operandi, there's something fucking wrong with you. But there's even something even more wrong with you if you specifically only have that behavior reserved for men that look exactly like you. And that's my pinpoint, my thing right here. This is the same thing with these women. These women weren't mad when Jeff Epstein was doing his thing. These women weren't mad when Harvey Weinstein was doing his thing. You didn't have this preponderance of women. Now, what were all these Black women there having all these discussions day to day when Harvey and Epstein was on their way? What was all these women before when Woody Allen was doing what he was doing? Were all these women when Randy Craig was called out? Were all these women with all these numerous different white individuals that have been called out that are under litigation right now, like Axl Rose from Guns N' Roses? He got caught up in was brought upon charges the same time as motherfucking Puff. Why aren't you talking about him? And in all respects and purposes, Guns N' Roses is held highly in the rock and roll community. Hell, they got a whole digs going on at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and everything else. His shit gets snatched from him. No, it didn't. You don't believe me? Go look up right now. Axl Rose from Guns N' Roses has the same thing going on to him that was filed in New York under the Adult Survivors Act. You don't believe me? Go look it up right now. Axl Rose filed under suit. You're going to find it. This is the whole of the West. White women, oh, there we go with that. Well, white women do it too. Watch this right here. Sam, are you white? Watch this. Sam, are you white? Watch this. This is how you handle niggas like this. Sam, are you white? Anytime y'all pay attention, anytime y'all hear a motherfucker say this, white people do it too. Are you white? You Scottish? Okay, you're Scottish. Well, listen here. On both sides of the spectrum, and I say this respectfully, you ain't fucking American, you ain't fucking Black or Latin American. And number 3, just sit back and be a spectator. All right. Sometimes, I mean this respectfully, Sam. Sometimes white folks just sit the fuck back and listen to the conversation instead of trying to navigate and participate in the conversation. You understand? I'm gonna tell you one fucking time, and I'm gonna tell you nothing again. You got me? Type in yes or no if you get me. Go fuck yourself. See how this block Sam? That's how you got to do that there. Don't be scared to do shit like that. You ain't got nothing to fucking do with this conversation. That's why I asked you that. That's how you white. You was writing like a white man. So I that's why I said that. Not to be racist, but just to point out a point. This is a conversation for folks of color. Do I give a fuck if anybody in here is not of color and you're not black or Latino? Of course I don't. But don't be the most privy motherfucker in the chat room writing every fucking thing you can, especially if you ain't donating shit. You understand what I'm saying? That goes for white, black, polka dot alike. Can't stand a motherfucker like that coming in here. Hey, let me get in here with these white folks and navigate them and all of that. See, y'all pay attention. You never know who the fuck's listening to you. See how that motherfucker was in? I'm Irish. I don't give a fuck if you're Scottish, Irish, or fucking Belgium. The point is, you're talking a too little fucking much and giving too much input, and you're not part of these cultures that I'm talking about. What the fuck do you know about fucking black YouTubers? Shut the fuck up and learn something. You're my Scott. I don't give a fuck what you are, you cocksucker. See, you deal with fucking everybody the same way. Then you don't have no fucking problems. I'm going to deal with them this way. I'm hoping you're having a fucking teaching moment here, African Americans, Latinos. Fuck that guy. Who the fuck is he? So anyway, I'm Scottish. Okay, let's stay the fuck out of the conversation. Then what you got to do with African American and Latin people's fucking conversations? No offense. You understand what I'm saying? But you're giving a little too much fucking input there, bud. Sweet. Gotcha. Sorry, I didn't think of that way. Yeah. It's a universal conversation. But if you ain't donating, supporting the channel or whatever, that's for one. That really grinds my attitude. Number two, if you writing so much in the chat room, you're trying to persuade people and persuade my mind as if I'm uneducated. That's why I asked if he was white, because certain white men, that's the first angle they go to. I'm more intelligent than you. How the fuck you know, you fucking 12th grade fucking dropout? Like, I'm trying to tell you, don't ever let some dude, it's just because he's white, he thinks he's smarter than you. I'm a fucking college graduate. I can tell you a million times working in the music industry, how many times I found dumbass white dudes. All right. It's a plentiful of them. All right. The dumbass white dudes are basically the dudes that let ego take the motion of fucking common sense and intelligence. Meaning, well, I feel like, and this is where a lot of bitches get this shit from. Well, I feel like, fuck how you feel. What's the correct way of doing what we're doing? You know how many times I've had to commandeer the conversation with white men like that? I live in fucking Connecticut. Where do you think I live at? In Atlanta? Ain't nothing out here but Italians, Greeks. I told people shit like, I tell you to your face that shit. And people be thinking, you're fucking crazy. Yeah, what are you going to do about it? Pardon my English. I'm fine with getting. No, I ain't about getting schooling nobody, man. And definitely, this ain't what I said. I live in Connecticut. I live around Italians and Greeks. That means I know your fucking culture. And I know when you're trying to circumnavigate the conversation into something that it's not. I don't need your fucking apologies. I'm not worried about if you were responsible for slavery or any of your fucking extended family. I don't give a shit about that. What I'm saying is, when I'm having conversations with these guys, because they're not privy to the lot of shit that goes on in your culture. You understand what I'm saying? Me, that I grew up around you guys, I am. That's why I was able to identify that guy so quickly. Now, my point is here, I try to privy these guys on to shit that how y'all really think versus what they assumptuously think. Because a lot of these people, they come from urban environments. There's not until they reach adulthood, and maybe 25, 30 sometimes, they're actually populated with multiple masses of white individuals. Therefore, they're learning your culture spot on. They didn't grow up with you like they grew up with the rest of the people in their urban environment. I did. So it's my fucking responsibility to circulate this out to them. You understand what I'm saying? And I know it automatically, and most of us know. Just to give you an example. The area I live in, Candace Owens is from fucking here, all right? Candace Owens is from fucking here. I've taken people on this channel. If you just put my name and put that in, I'm not a Candace Owens supporter per se, but my point is, that's a representation of what we're around. You see how she talks and how she moves and shit like that? That's the greater majority. This is an educated state. We have Yale University here. We have UConn here. We have Housatonic College here. We have some prestigious colleges here. This is a fucking like Connecticut is rated one of the most educated cities in the United States. It's also one of the most opulent cities in the United States, if you did not know. It's specifically the area I live in. You understand what I'm saying? Which I've always been in. I've been in those two areas all my life. The one Alpha mentioned earlier in this one and this one. Those are the only two areas I've been in like that and lived in. The other ones I've visited, been out there for 3, 4, 5 weeks, something like that. But not like these two areas. So I'm trying to tell you, give you an example, not too far from here, Diana Ross lives. You understand what I'm saying? Eartha Kitt died 20 minutes away from here. Not even less than 20 minutes, 17 minutes away from here. That was her state. Captain Hepburn lived in this state. Martha Stewart, David Letterman, he lives in this state. not too far away from here. Tommy Hilfiger's brother, who we had the pleasure of working with when we was working on Nicki Minaj's clothing line out there at what the fuck is that shit out there in Jersey? Power Jam, what is it? Summer Jam. We worked that a 1 year, whatever. Shout out to Nicki Minaj. We worked with Nicki Minaj and Tommy Hilfiger's brother, who was designing on many of those styles. So she had a label out for a minute that was in Kmart, believe it or not. It sold pretty well too. It wasn't bad looking. Tell them about what happened to you in the country, in the county. Tell them about what happened to me in the county. Nigga, I don't even fucking know you, nigga. And you don't know me. Ain't nothing happened to me in the county, nigga. And I'm gonna tell you even more so like this. Bitch ass niggas that come in here like that, to do shit like that or whatever, you a hoe ass nigga, bro. You a hoe ass nigga. Like niggas in the street don't respect you. Probably the people in your home don't even respect. That bitch that you living off of don't even respect you, nigga. So don't come over here trying to get brave, nigga. Don't nobody like you. Don't nobody respect you. That's the only type of hoe nigga that say shit like that. Cause see, real niggas pay so. They come in here and they join the conversation and get what a real niggas say. Fake niggas, they say shit like that. He. And go back over there and suck on the titty of your single mother, you bitch. Can't stand whole ass niggas like that, bro. For real, that's what make me want to pull out the. Long story short, y'all, before I end this or whatever, I just want to say this. Because I ain't going to talk no more. Because once I start getting pissed off, I start getting in the mood, I just get off of here. I don't stay on here no more. It ain't even worth it to me. I don't have no how you say, a lot of y'all got these devotees that watch y'all. Y'all got these people that donate hundreds of dollars to y'all and shit like that or whatever. I don't get donations from people and shit like that. I make my money off of YouTube. You know what I'm saying? And so I don't feel like I need to get close with people or be cool with people. In fact, that's one of the major motherfucking mistakes I ever made was trying to get cool with people on YouTube. Don't do that shit. If you're a new vlogger, don't try to get cool with these niggas. These niggas don't respect you. Most of them, let me tell y'all the secret and then we get up out of here. And this is just the truth. It ain't no shots at nobody. If you are a Black or Latin vlogger, right? I'm not reading your comments, so you can keep writing. You haven't donated anything, I'm not reading your comments. I'm not reading your comments, that's it. If you are a Black or Latin content maker, there's certain perimeters you have to fit in, and you have to make a choice when you're fitting into those areas. And I've learned this over the 5 years I've been here in the 3.2K videos that I uploaded. And many people will actually say the same thing. So you're going to be in two different categories. You're going to be either be in one category where YouTube and you follow the rules of YouTube and they paying you, which is the most opulent way. Meaning you're going to make the most money out of that. And that's what a lot of these fruit bowl ass niggas is really scared of. You start getting some real YouTube money. Then there's the opposite end of it. You become a puppet to the people. And that's what I did. You become a puppet to the people and hope and pray that they'll donate to you. But based on the fact, if you're not a belligerent blogger, I find very, very much so consistent, and I will say this again, and this is no shots at that community, but it's just the truth. If you are LGBTQ man, not a woman, a man, you will find specifically that Black American women, they take more of a liking to them than they do to other Black American women. Yes, sir. And they will donate to them. Top on top of dollars is just what it is. You understand what I'm saying? Don't worry about it. Don't let it, you know what I mean? Don't let it, detour you or nothing like that. Just keep moving. That ain't your crowd. That's the gossipy crowd. That's the crowd that ain't necessarily too intelligent. That's the crowd that's unaccomplished. That's the crowd that is unexperienced, meaning they ain't never been in the music industry, ain't never been no more than to a state fair and somebody was performing like Nelly or some shit like that. You understand what I'm saying? These are those type of crowds. You don't want those crowds, trust me. Those crowds are dangerous. They're going to spread things about you. They're going to make fun of you. They're going to come in. Those are the crowds that come in and key, and he. They will do that the day there's a nuclear bomb coming. That's their personality. You want to stay away from people like that. The game is different in 2024, 2025 than it was in 2020 when I started. These niggas in 2020, you could sit back and everybody was a little bit more calm, collective. We were more worried about different things, and collectively we stuck together during the pandemic for the most part. Yeah, some goofies in here then. The majority of them were women. Fast forward to 2024, 2025 here, though, you got something totally different. You got a lot of miscreants and people that are coming here and they'll purposely try to start fights with you. They see you getting some space and seeing you moving or whatever. They don't want to mess with you, whatever the case may be. Your purpose in your journey, your purpose in your, yeah, Nelly, your purpose in your journey is to do this. Make the decision on which one you want to appeal to. Now, I'm going to tell you honestly and truthfully, as you see, I've been live here for 2 hours and 20 minutes. I ain't even had a motherfucker donate $20 to me. Mind you, I'm the one taking them everywhere. So that's why I said, you gotta watch which one you pick. Now, if I try to tell you based on my experience and being a vlogger for almost 5 years, which one you should pick the monetization with YouTube. Say fuck the people. I hate to say it like that, but say fuck the people. The only time they're gonna pay you if you follow in a line of this, and listen to what I'm saying here, because I don't want you to harbor anywhere from your natural personalities. That's the point here. It's not about who you subscribe to or who you support. It's about not folding away from your natural personalities. This is the one thing. When you're on here, kids, and you're starting your new YouTube page, remember this. When you get into this thing where you choose the people over getting paid by YouTube, what you're going to fall into is this thing where you have to pander to them. You understand what I'm saying? Meaning, like, if you start your material and your material is consistently always negative, always trying to bash somebody to look just like you or whatever, that's why a lot of them do it. A lot of these people, they're getting double paid. They're getting paid off of YouTube and they're getting paid off of donations and shit too. I just don't have that tenacity to do that. That's okay. I don't worry about that. It taught me a lesson. Do not depend on Black and Latin people in your life goal. You understand what I'm saying? Do not do it. Because if you do it, what's going to happen is you're going to be let down every time. You've heard Malcolm X say this. I've heard Dick Gregory say this. I've heard Martin Luther King pretty much allude to this, and many other people. You're not going to win to the flexity that you want to. That is just the pure, simple fact. All right. Now, there's certain vloggers that can do this, but you'll always find that 80% of them bloggers that can make money off of other Black and Latin people, what you're going to find is they're always in the paradigm of gossiping, always having the tea. They're nasty people. They'll sell you up under the bus and sell the people under the bus for a couple of dollars, which y'all still ain't caught on to that. But okay, keep supporting them. The diagram nowadays is online, and you can argue it whatever you want to. I've heard now basketball players. I've heard David Banner. So when David Banner said it, I said, I know I'm not telling nothing bullshit. Y'all might not just like the way I like it, and I personally don't give a fuck. I'm not here to pander to niggas. You understand? Because once you start pandering, that's when you start telling lies. You understand what I'm saying? That's why some of y'all so caught up in these acting roles y'all be doing on YouTube and getting paid for the acting roles that y'all don't even know how to be your normal selves anymore. You know, when you get on, support. Ooh, this a mess. And all these other little, clinges and crinches you got and shit and niches you got, you're stuck in it now. So that's what I'm trying to tell you, kids. If you start your YouTube page, don't fuck with these niggas. Don't fuck with them. They so twisted now in conspiracy theories. They so twisted now in having an abundance and you must pander to them. They don't even want to hear the God honest truth. And if you just take, for example, what you see was going down with Puff and what you see was going down with me, when you see there's not a motherfucker whatsoever that'll donate a dime to me. Not that I'm upset about it. You understand the difference. When you're on here and you're telling the God honest truth and you're giving something outside of popular opinion, or whatever the case may be, these folks are not going to support you. But it's not about who supports you. It's about who's right at the end.